can't keep pace. We're taking over screens, we're in your face. Ballin's the best, yeah, we're raising hell. We're loud, we're proud, you can't break our spell. We dominate the rest, they're stuck in the mud. Ballin' TV, we're out for blood. They try to step up, but they just fall flat. We're the kings of the game, they can't handle that. Broadcasting gold, we're setting the tone. Ballin's in control, we own the throne. Ballin's the best, yeah, we're raising hell. We're loud, we're proud, you can't break our spell. We dominate the rest, they're stuck in the mud. Ballin' TV, we're out for blood. Turn it up, crank it loud, we're taking no flack. We're the ones on top, no looking back. They can try to follow, but they'll always lose. Ballin' TV's the name that you can't refuse. From the first stream to the final shot, we're the ones they fear, the ones they're not. Ballin's the fire, we're burning bright. We're taking over, they're out of sight. Ballin's the best, yeah, we're raising hell. We're loud, we're proud, you can't break our spell. We dominate the rest, they're stuck in the mud. Ballin' TV, we're out for blood. The best, get out of our way.
Drop it.
The world's fastest half mile is the latest stop for the OB Builders Cup Series as we hit our first short track of the year for the Victory Designs 250. Good evening, everybody. Happy to have you with us once again here on Ballin' TV as we set up for action from the paperclip. Nick Stein, Brandon Edstrom, as always, on the call with you guys here as we get ready to go here. Victory Designs 250 from Martinsville. Brandon, happy to have you here with me once again. How are you feeling for this race, man?
Oh, feeling very great. Honestly, just blessed to be here. We want to give a quick prayer to everyone out there dealing with these nasty weather systems going through the Midwest and all over the U.S. right now, really. So we just want to give a heartfelt shout out to all those guys. Hope everyone's safe. I know a few drivers in the lobby are going to have to start and park because weather's starting to hit them. So I'm blessed to be here. We're just worried about everyone else right now.
Yeah, a couple of towns already taking some pretty hard hits. A lot of bad weather going through the middle part of America right now, but we are here from Martinsville. We will keep everyone in our thoughts and in prayers as we get going here tonight for what should be a pretty good race as we are at Martinsville, as you can see on our schedule. We head to Darlington next week, the Lady in Black, and then we have Bristol the week after, and then the off week before Talladega. So very interesting set of races coming up here, leading all the way through Talladega. So a lot of different racing mechanics needed over the next few weeks, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely. And these next three races are probably going to be the toughest three on the schedule. Martinsville's tough to get around. Darlington's going to be one hell of a race, and Bristol as well. Then they have that off week, and then we start going into the, you know, the mile and a half, where everything should be okay. The only real three-stretch race where I can really see where things might get a little chaotic is the Chicago Street 110, Sonoma, and Dover, 3 very hard racetracks. But we got a good few weeks coming up, Nick.
Yeah, we're starting to settle into that, you know, the lull of the season, I guess is a good way to put it. We're through the first month and a half or so of the year. It's starting to set in that this is a very, very long season. So a lot of consistency is going to be needed from these guys as we're working our way through qualifying here. From Martinsville, not much on track action right now. Points are on the screen as you see right now. Shane Davis, your points leader. Randy Mullins sitting about 30 points back, give or take. Blaine Wilson in third. Alex Coffey and Tim Wortman Jr. round out your top 5. As you can see, Brandon Fetterplace there jumping into the top 10 after winning last week at Homestead.
Yeah, that was a big win for him. Last week was a chaotic race. Alex Coffey looked like he could have won the thing, but then he got involved in some trouble, and then a lot of the Beast Mode boys really got into a lot of trouble last week as well, and no fault of their doing. I don't really think it was anybody's fault, Nick. It was the first track where we really had 4 or 5 lanes available in the corners. It just created a lot of chaos, but look out for Alex Coffey. Blaine Wilson still looking for their first win of the year. Same with Tim Wortman. Shane Wyatt already locked in with a win, so he's just happy to ride around. But be on the lookout for Bikey, Sanders, and Taylor as well.
Yeah, it's going to get chaotic here tonight as well. I mean, we're going from a track with 5 lanes to a track with 1 at best. So things definitely looking like they're going to get interesting here. Right now, in terms of qualifying, as I said, not much going on track right now. Currently, 26 cars have set times. We got, I think, 7 more still yet to run. But right now, Corey Moore is sitting at the top of the timing charts with a 19:198. Randy Mullins with a 2:07. So pretty quick times up at the top.
Yeah, a lot of quick times. I mean, the difference in the field is only about 0.8 of a second, but here at Martinsville, I mean, you figure over 50 laps, that is going to take a long time to reel all that back in. So even in qualifying, you don't want to be 0.8 back. Hell, you don't even want to be a 10th or 2 back. Stages are 60 and 120 tonight, Nick, and then we also have an instant limit here tonight at Martinsville. 17 will be a drive-through, and 25 will be a disqualification, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And hopefully, we do not have a typical Martinsville League race. These guys are very clean. They keep it together. And let's just pray that we do not pace for 150 laps, which I know that we won't.
Yeah, 250 laps is the total race distance here tonight. Of course, Brandon saying stage is 61:20. Got a car on track, actually. Nigel Christensen putting his qualifying time down now. He just crossed the line to, I believe, start his first lap. I'm not mistaken. Actually, that was his first time lap at a 19:9:55. You can see on board with the 20 headed down into turn number 3. Yes, you are actually shifting here. These guys are going to be shifting all the time here as Christensen comes off of turn number 4 and sets another 19:9:55. Actually, he may have already set his quick laps. Never mind.
Yeah, he's just going around collecting laps at this point. But another thing that we really want to focus on is shifting. I mean, I know that a lot of these guys, even in NASCAR, on iRacing, anywhere you go in a short track around the United States, even the 4-bangers at your local short track aren't going to be shifting unless, you know, they have the gears all wound up or whatever it may be. So I know that it's very frustrating for these gentlemen to have to shift, especially once you start getting above that 150 lap mark. You're shifting on entry, you're shifting on exit, you're shifting on entry again on exit. And then especially just, oh man, the restarts will be another huge thing today, Nick. Unfortunately, you had the pleasure of figuring out early this week. First gear restarts are going to be extremely important. Lots of tire spin, and honestly, the tires play a lot bigger of a role this time around at Martinsville than they ever have really in the next gen car for Martinsville. Normally, Nick, we could run 100 laps, no one would pit, but now tires really make a difference.
Yeah, keeping the tire temps down is going to be a huge part of just saving tires in general here. You can't really back up the corners here at Martinsville. It's not really going to do you much because the cornering speeds are so low. So keeping the tire temps down is what's really going to save that tire. And we're already starting to see that people are needing EOLs because of the weather. So weather definitely going to become a big part of this race, but not in sim. It's actually real life weather messing with the sim race. That is very, very funny. But Oh, Tim Wortman Jr. just went under a tornado warning as well, apparently. And like I
Yeah,
said, there's a
teammates
couple of other
taking
people.
EOL. Yeah, his teammates are taking EOLs for weather, unfortunately. Very hard time. But before we get into tonight's action, we want to thank OB Builders, VanLily Stickers, Simrap Market, Thomas Mullins and his family, Button Box Replay, Crazy Chuck's Purple Jesus Moonshine. And tonight, Nick, the All About Sheet Metal Pole Award looks like it's going to be going to Corey Moore with only 10 seconds left in qualifying.
Yeah, one of those Dig Esports guys. They've been qualifying very, very well over the last couple of weeks. Right now, Dig Esports, in terms of the top 15, sitting first and 8th, also 13th. So not a particularly blazing qualifying session from these guys, but I know that they are on a very quick setup as well. So these guys are going to be moving through the field very quickly, I feel like.
Well, congratulations to Corey Moore. He'll have the All About Sheet Metal Pole Award, and we're going to get started with tonight's starting grid.
Starting off in that first position is your All About Sheet Metal Pole Award winner, Corey Moore, sets a 19.198. Randy Mullins, for what seems like the 5th time this year, starting in 2nd place with a 2.07. Shane Wyatt starts in 3rd, another one of those Dig Esports cars. Matt Cox in 4th. Jordan Schmeets is going to be in 6th. Kenny Coppola, who we've been told has a very, very quick race setup. He's going to be starting 6th place tonight. Sean Rogers and Alex Coffey going to round up row number 4. Chris Crosby and Nick King round out your top 10.
And then in 11th, you got the man himself, the 81 machine of Barry Sanders. And then you got Brian Curry to his outside in that 28 machine from the Atlantic region. Victor Pfluger, VanLilys Stickers and Precision Speed Shop on his machine. Then Aero Motorsports, Brandon Fetter placed to his outside in the 34 machine. And you got the 27 of Brandon Bikey starting on his inside with Johnny Shade from Ohio on his outside in that black, yellow, and white number 45. Chris Spear in that 7 machine will be starting P17 on the inside with Blaine Wilson from the Midwest, 3/10 off pole on the outside. And then rounding out your top 20 will be Colt Blazkowski in the 8 machine and Craig Carr in the 25.
Starting in 21st is another one of those Dig Esports machines, the number 35 of Caden Norfrey to his outside. The man who looked like he was going to win the race at some point last week at Homestead, Justin Belmonte, he starts 22nd place here tonight. Preston Purrier starts 23rd with Paul Gallimore to his outside. Nigel Christensen and Jamison Middlemiss are the last cars to set times here tonight. They start 25th and 26th. And the rest of the field is as follows: Aaron Matthews, Chris Davis, Tim Wortman Jr., Kevin Ruff, Warren Young, Ryan Huff, and Jared Clark round out your 32 car field here tonight.
Yeah, and we want to extend our prayers once again for everybody that really didn't put down a time. Those are the guys that seem like they're in the thick of it right now in those storms. So let's just continue to keep them in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully nothing bad comes from it. Nick, I know you were telling me there were multiple, and whenever you hear the word multiple with tornadoes, it's never good on the ground earlier on, and unfortunately more expected here tonight. But we're going to keep it in a positive light. We got some racing to do, 250 laps here at Martinsville. Corey Moore starting on pole, and Randy Mullins still looking for his first win of the year in that slick-looking 54 Chevrolet Camaro with the OB Builders on the side of his race car.
And for those wondering, why is Dig Esports in different colors than we're used to seeing them? They have actually launched a new effort with Alex Murray over in the A Open scene. They have started a new setup shop actually here on iRacing. The website itself will be live tomorrow, but we were given the go-ahead to give the announcement out tonight. Precision Speed Solutions is a brand new setup shop here on iRacing, and if you want to get some very, very quick setups, they're the place to go, and that's why a lot of the Dig Esports guys are wearing those new colors.
Yeah, we were told to keep it a secret for a while. They kind of accidentally spilled the beans to it a few weeks ago, but they let us know. But you got to remember, there's a lot of big dogs that got to eat out there. Ryko, EPI, Team Conti, equally just as fast. So we're going to keep an eye on all of these. And it's so amazing how many different shops come into play when you have a league like this with so many people. And all of them are so fast. And one click in one direction on either or could really change the game and the setup. And I know that our boy Kenny Coppola back there builds one hell of a mean setup. So keep an eye out on Beast Mode as well. These Dig boys have some exciting news, but that new news might be old news if they can't get up front and get a win tonight.
Yeah, I was talking to Alex Coffey earlier, actually, and he said Kenny Coppola is known for having an absolute rocket ship on a long run here. So we'll have to see how that 77 comes into play over the race. But lights are out on the pace car as we're coming up towards the Sim Wrap Market restart zone for the first time here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. Corey Moore has control of this restart. Green flag out in the air here at Martinsville. We are green, and Corey Moore, Shane Wyatt get a good jump on that inside line. Randy Mullins stuck on the outside, and now it is a race to get to the bottom.
Yeah, 2x2 down the back straightaway. Shane Wyatt's going to get clear of the 54 car as he goes into turn 3. The 22, Schmidt's looking to the inside of Randy Mullins, and we're going to see that all night long. We saw Randy struggle on the restart on the outside. That launch car, even when everybody knows when the race is going green, it's going to be tough. But anytime that we have a caution from here on out, that leader's going to be able to launch off. And boy, we're going to see that leader pull away unless the outside line can make some changes.
And yeah, that is another big thing with Martinsville. As soon as you see somebody stuck on that outside line, we got someone getting loose off of turn number 4. Sean Rogers almost loops it coming off of 4. He is side by side with Matt Cox now. New fastest lap there up at the top. Corey Moore with a 19.433. But as I was saying, if you see somebody stuck on the top like that, you are going to want to do everything in your power to keep them on the top because A, that's more track position, and B, that burns their tires faster, which gives you a bigger advantage in the long run. So always want to keep people up on that outside line as long as you can.
Yeah, and I wish more of these teams would let us in on their practices. That way we can see how the setups go. Unfortunately, the only one that we really have intel on is Dig. I know that that setup is really good on the outside, especially watching the setup community, not setup shop, excuse me, Alex, in the YouTube chat, our apologies. Watching him roll the outside, he said that he preferred the outside at some points because that car can really pull. So we'll have to keep an eye on Beast Mode and everybody else, especially those boys in Aero as well, to really see how that outside rolls. Randy Mullins dropped a few spots early on, but I think it's just track doesn't have a lot of rubber into it, not a lot of usage. I think later on that high side's going to start to come in.
Well, I'll tell you what, Corey Moore is flying right now. He has pulled 1.3 seconds over his teammate Shane Wyatt. He's pulled 1.8 over Jordan Schmitz and already over 2 seconds back to 4th place. So in terms of Martinsville, Corey Moore is flying as we got our first caution of the night. Unsure what that might be for. Oh, here it is. Jamison Middlemiss, I believe, looped it in turn 3, number 16.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if he got the curve. There's some front end damage on that Ford Mustang. Pete Watson Racing setups on the hood of that car. You can see coming up off of turn 2, that's a really tricky spot to get the power down going into turn 3. Oh, yeah, just sent it in way too hot. Ooh, big damage hit to the outside wall. That might hurt him early on, Nick. I mean, I know Aero isn't a huge deal here, but by God, what a hit. Yeah,
that was a hard hit. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Aero damage doesn't really mean too much here, but when you have damage to that extent on the front end, that number 16 is going to be hurting for a while. You saw Preston Purrier locked up getting into turn 1, and maybe, oh yeah, he was just trying to get to the inside of the 99 of Purrier. Just nailed the outside wall there.
And you know who really wanted to see this caution? Brandon Bikey started from in the pits. Corey Moore was flying up to him, but with that caution, he will not go a lap down. So if it's anyone that really wanted to see that caution, it was Brandon Bikey.
Yeah, for sure. That gives him a chance to get caught back up to the rest of the field. We know Bikey's really good at these short tracks as well, so having to start from the pits is a little bit of a detriment to that number 27, but do not be surprised if he is up here late on in this race. I mean, we're only 10 laps in. We still got 240 to go.
Yeah, and only 10 laps in. It's really good that they didn't have a caution earlier than that. That's probably the most green flag racing I've seen at Martinsville in a long time, unfortunately. But no, these boys are just a different level. And honestly, I didn't see too much contact throughout the field. I was pretty much clicking all over the place, going to as many people as I could. Not a lot of contact. The boys are taking it nice and easy early on. It's just one mistake from one driver, which no fault to him. It'll be all right. But hopefully it stays like this for the rest of the race. You want to save those fenders for the end.
Yeah, for sure. And we're not even close to even thinking about stage points yet. Granted, it won't be that long of a time before we start even talking about stage points if it goes green the rest of the way, but 60 laps, can be very, very widely, such a wide range of how quick it can go, just depending on the amount of cautions. If it goes green, we'll be at the end of stage 1 in 15 minutes. But if we kind of settle into a period here where we have some self spins or something like that, then we could be in for a little bit of a grinder here of a race as pace car lights are out, headed down the back straight.
Yeah, keep an eye on this front row. These boys are teammates, so they're probably communicating in Discord as we speak right now. Might be a lot different of a launch than we saw with Randy Mullins, who is not a teammate of Dig on the outside, so we might see that outside line be more competitive on this restart.
Rolling in towards the sim wrap market restart zone. Corey Moore hits it early. Green flag back out in the air here at Martinsville, and that looked like a pretty coordinated restart there. Shane Wyatt not quite able to get down in front of Jordan Schmitz there, but does look like that 23 has a little bit faster of a car on him, so we'll see if he's able to, as actually Matt Cox gets a little bit deep and actually turns Shane Wyatt in 3 and 4. Wyatt hits the wall. He's going to lose a lot of time there.
Oh boy, I don't know if Matt Cox got it. Oh, and then he just got turned by his own teammate. He just got turned by his own teammate in the middle, 3 wide. Johnny Shade makes contact with Shane Wyatt. Looking at the first part of the replay right here, got Jordan Schmitz to his inside and the 32. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was locking up or what, but it didn't look like we saw any lockup. Maybe drove it in a little too deep, and then his teammates trying to be patient, and then going into the next turn, they're 3 wide, and Johnny Shade just gets into him. And what started as an up-front start for Shane Wyatt has quickly turned into a long crawl back, because track position here means everything.
That is how you go from the front to the back in the span of 2 corners.
And the string of cautions. I know it will not continue to be like that. We see Bikey and Shane Wyatt coming down pit road. I imagine Shane has some sort of damage, but he's also probably going to want to get those tires changed, because he was getting thrown around like a pinball in a pinball machine. My lord, the poor guy. But hopefully we can keep it clean and green, because these long runs at Martinsville are some of the best that you can see when the tires really start to wear down. The overall aspect of a long run at this racetrack, Nick. I was speechless there for a second because I couldn't even think about it. A long run here is horrible. Horrible as a driver.
Yeah, it is. As a driver, Martinsville and long run are 2 words you do not want to hear in the same sentence. But as commentators and fans, that's the best type of racing you can get at Martinsville, because you can actually start to see the tires wear and who's good, who's not. So it is definitely going to get interesting if we get towards the end of this and we get, say, a 100-lap run, because then at that point, that's where we're going to start to see who's got the skill here at Martinsville.
Yeah, and that 100-lap run isn't going to come until later on in the race, as stages are 60 and 120, so the longest we could hypothetically see is probably somewhere around 55, because when the stage ends at 60, we got a few laps, so it won't quite be 60 green flag laps. But when that stage comes at 120, oh boy, if we have a 130-lap run to finish this thing, we're going to see cars all over the place.
Yeah, for sure, and that's usually how it tends to line up at Martinsville, especially these league races, especially if they run stages as well. They kind of start off a little chaotic, but as the laps go on and as we get through the stages, hand out the stage points, people start to calm down a little bit. So once we get to stage 2, that's where we're going to start to see a lot of green flag running coming into play here at Martinsville. Lights are out on the pace car again. Corey Moore and Jordan Schmitz, your first row. Sean Rogers and Nick King, your second row. As Corey Moore works his way through 3 and 4 towards the Simrap Market restart zone. Gonna hit it early again. Green flag back out in the air here. Moore with another really good jump. Schmitz got a little bit of wheel spin, forced Nick King to check up a lot there, but Moore is out and away early off of 2.
Yeah, and look at how much of a difference that makes when you're a teammate versus when you're not a teammate, when you're all communicating in the same channel. Shane Wyatt on that last restart had a really good restart.
Round off of 4.
Keep it straight.
Nope, there's the caution.
And unfortunately at Martinsville, that's one of the things that I feel like they always need to fix. He's not really around in front of traffic. His nose is up against the inside wall, but the car is at just that right angle for NASCAR to, excuse me, not NASCAR, good Lord, iRacing to throw the caution.
Oh, man. Brandon is too focused on jabbing real NASCAR to be able to differentiate that between iRacing itself. You goober.
No, goofy goober. It's a beautiful car, though. Not a lot of damage on that front end. He didn't hit it a ton. Oh, yeah, he just gave the wall a little kiss. Nothing too bad there.
Yeah, that's what it was. That tap to the wall is what brought the caution out. I think if he would have kept it off the wall, there would have been a pretty good chance we wouldn't have had a caution there. But since he hit the wall, iRacing.
Yeah, in the iRacing self-detect caution system, or whatever you want to call it, is so finicky sometimes, because at Martinsville, yes, the whole track is technically the racing surface, and a car could be all the way down against the wall, no caution, but then we could have a 30-car pileup on the back straightaway at Darlington, and since it's just below their certain threshold of a line, there will be no caution. We could have cars flipping, on fire, there could be a car in the infield, and the caution won't be thrown. So it's a little different in every single track.
I'll tell you exactly where we're going to see that the most, and it's going to be next week at Darlington. Because the amount of times I have seen cars go flying, I'm talking flying through the air, flipping down the back straightaway, and there hasn't been a caution, is absolutely atrocious.
Well, we still haven't gotten the one to go, so I say we get the number 23 machine and see how he's feeling after that unfortunate incident earlier on. Shane White, it's Brandon Edstrom with the Ball and TV booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, buddy. Rough start early on. Talk me through what happened on that outside line, what happened between you and Cox, and then unfortunately your teammate getting into you. How do you recover from that?
Yeah, it's just got down in the corner, and I think the 32 got in too hot and cleaned us out. It's a little ridiculous to be pulling moves like that this early, but it is what it is. We're back here in the back. We're clearly way faster than these guys, so we just got to change our line to not run into anyone, and might pull some strategy at a stage or something for track position. So we'll see how it goes. Just frustrated.
Well, I had a second question for you, but you answered it. Thank you very much, Shane White. Good luck the rest of the race, bud.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Some early on trouble for Shane Wyatt. Don't really want to see that. And we saw, I think it was Jamison Middlemiss spinning down the back straightaway as we were bringing Shane in for an interview. So we'll have to check on that whenever we have some time. But right now, pace car's off, Nick.
Yeah, rolling towards that sim wrap market restart zone once again. Corey Moore, Sean Rogers up front this time. Green flag back out in the air. And once again, I feel like I gotta stop saying it at some point. Corey Moore with another amazing restart here as he gets off of turn number 2, and everyone's single filed all the way back to about 8th.
I don't know if those two cars merged together, but it looked like the 44 may have switched lanes before the start finish line.
And another
boy,
is
big
out.
wreck in the back. Oh, good Lord.
Oh no.
We got
Hearing
5 or 6
calls.
of them involved.
Hearing calls of a big wreck here in turn number 4. That's the number 7 machine of Chris Spear there.
Yeah, taking a look down the back straightaway. He's already got some front end nose damage. Don't know where that came from.
Oh,
Big old
Johnny
bump
Shade.
from the 45. Oh, and then they all just stacked up, and then boom, bam. Oh, I think that just barely broke the left front toe link of that 25 machine. I'll have to check in on that, but oh boy, it's just one of those tracks, Nick. You got walls on both sides. You're gonna have nowhere to go after you get into some trouble. So it's just the best to lock down the brakes and hope that no one ARCA breaks you.
Yeah, the 25 being Greg Carr, possibly a broken toe link for him. Oh, it did. It did.
And it wasn't even that hard of a hit. It was just the angle that it hit at. You can see the 25 machine right here on a replay on board with him. So big checkup going into 1, and then we saw the same thing in 3 and 4. So I don't know if someone was having trouble up front, but you can see the wreck's going to start right in front of him. He's going to do the good thing and go high, but right. Oh,
right there. Yeah, you heard it.
And that's
Definitely.
the thing. Unfortunately, with these cars, I mean, as long as you hit the wall even and the wheel is straight, you can smack the absolute hell out of these things and a toe link won't break. But at such an awkward angle like that, when you're turning the wheel.
Okay, he didn't break it. It's definitely bent, but he didn't break it.
Yeah, it's definitely messed up in some sort of way. Good throwback scheme, though. I'm excited to see all these throwback schemes for next week. We've been looking in the Discord. A few of them have already decided to leak their throwbacks, but next week is going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah, next week is Throwback Week, as you mentioned, at Darlington. Same time, same place here on Ballin TV. Of course, that's not the 500-miler. That one's going to be later on this year. This one's only going to be, or in terms of real-life racing, only going to be the 400-mile race. So a little bit shorter of a throwback event next time, or next week. So that'll be a fun one to broadcast, but we're getting ready to go back green here at Martinsville. Corey Moore, Sean Rogers, Randy Mullins, and Jordan Schmeets on that second row. Green flag is back out in the air here. You see Sean Rogers is doing everything he can to try and slow Corey Moore on these restarts. He knows exactly what that 42 is doing.
Yeah, that was almost a big send by Sean onto Corey Moore going into turn 1, but it didn't upset the 42 car at all. Side by side, here comes Kenny Coppola to the inside of Randy Mullins. He's going to get clear. The 28's going to look underneath of Randy Mullins as well. Randy Mullins might have to battle against 2 spots as they go down into turn 1.
Coppola gets past Mullins for that 4th spot. Coppola up 2 from where he started. He started 6th tonight. Brian Curry now to the inside of the 54 of Mullins. And this is looking like a little bit of deja vu for that 54 car. That's the exact same thing that happened to him on the initial start, and that's why he's this far back. Got stuck up on that outside line, and now Alex Coffey gonna stick a nose to the inside.
Alex Coffey trying to make his way through the field as well. Seeing good battles all over the racetrack. Some of them 2x2 down the back straightaway. Alex Coffey still looking for his first win of the year, along with the 54 as well. Sean Rogers looked like he had it in the bag last week. Oh, and there goes, that was the 60 machine of Belmonte, got into the outside wall. He might have some right front damage.
Single file for the majority of your field, back to about 15th. I thought I saw a car in the wall there in the back. But
no, you were right, you did. He got loose off of turn 2, smacked the wall, and then kept it straight, so no caution.
No caution out. Still running clean and green here at Martinsville. 33 laps in the books for these guys as they are working their way towards that first stage break here in about 30 laps time. As you see, Nick King gets past Shane Wyatt there. This is for 17th on track here. You see Nick King running from Shane Wyatt. And Nigel Christensen and Justin Belmonte right behind these guys, looking to try and get back up into the top 15. Shane Wyatt's trying to get back up front where he was earlier on, but he's definitely working his way through the field here.
There was a moment between the 20 of Christensen and the 60 machine of Justin Belmonte. Belmonte gave him a boot going into turn 1. That almost turned him around. Christensen has some front-end damage on his 20 machine now. But as of right now, it looks like everyone is single file, and hopefully it stays this way. I'm not a big fan of just single file racing, but that's kind of the name of the game here at Martinsville. But I love seeing how people try to curate these moves. How are they going to get to the inside? Can they work the outside? Are they going to use the bumper? And like we said early on, Nick saved the fenders for the end of the race, but the battle for the lead is heating up, and it looks like Rogers might end up using that front bumper.
Yeah, I've been sitting here watching them for a couple of laps. Ever since the restart, Sean Rogers has been exactly right here. Looks to the inside now. This is for the lead here at Martinsville, but Corey Moore gets a very good run off of 2, stays him off for another corner. But as I was saying, it's basically been like this since we went back green. Sean Rogers has not left the rear bumper of that 42 machine.
And I keep thinking that he's going to get into the back of him, but Sean Rogers just finds that extra 10% in that brake pedal to prove me wrong. There's nothing wrong with a little beating and banging as long as you do it cleanly, but whoever was driving that 8 car this past weekend in Xfinity certainly didn't know how to do that. So we'll have to keep an eye on how these boys keep it clean. But again, nothing wrong with some bumping and running.
Yeah, I'm watching on board with these two right now, just clicking back in between, back and forth. Sean Rogers, he definitely has a car that's more suited for the entry, whereas Corey Moore is a lot better on exit. So kind of a, I'm faster where you're slow and you're slow, or you're faster where I'm slow kind of things we got going on here. As Corey Moore actually hits the wall, Rogers dive bombs it to the inside. He's got the nose, he's even with the 42 or more. This is going to be the first lead change of the night if it goes through, but Sean Rogers almost loops it off of turn number 4. But through 1 and 2, he's actually going to get the move done for just a second. It does get clear, Corey Moore.
And Corey Moore trying to keep his left front to that quarter panel. You can see what I'm saying. That car's not horrible on the outside. for the 42. It's just you gotta wait for the track to come in for it to be able to work. But new leader, Sean Rogers in that 44. I believe that's a Kyle Petty throwback in the Hot Wheels. So we have Sean Rogers coming up off of turn 4. He led a lot of last week's race. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done. Got chased down by Shane Wyatt, who was on a completely different strategy. And then Fetter Place ended up winning the race after some contact. But Sean Rogers looking strong out front, pulling 2 or 3 cars. There's a yellow out on the racetrack. I believe it's going to be Chris Spear in the 7 machine. He gets around off of turn number 4. Go back and take a look at what happened with the ball and TV replay. Side by side down the back straightaway going into turn 3. Oh, the 7 just gets in a little too hot. Tries to cut it back down the track, and another one of those Martinsville moments where the car doesn't go around quite all the way, but there's going to be a caution. But as we're under caution once again here tonight, we're going to send it to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back everybody to the OB Builders Cup Series for the Victory Designs 250 here in the Moonshiners Racing League. Nick Stein had to step away for a moment, some internet issues, so I'll be solo for a little bit. So forgive me, I will try the best that I can. Want to thank all of our sponsors once again that make it possible every week, especially for the sponsors of the league who get it done as well. Corey Moore, who had the All About Sheet Metal Pole Award, sitting P2 on his outside, lap 47 of 250 here tonight. Stage will be on the completion of lap 60, so 61 on the ticker. Lights on the pace car are out. We're stacking them up once again here at Martinsville. Let's see if they use the fenders as perfect timing. Nick Stein's back.
Oh, hey, we're coming back to the SimRap Market Restart Zone. Sorry about that, guys. Little internet action there as Sean Rogers gets it back going green. Corey Moore going to have to hop back down to the inside line as quick as he can.
At 3 wide, Belmonte thought about shipping it in 3 wide, but we're good now. Battle for P2 and P3 side by side as they come down the back straightaway. Schmeetz and Moore might go at it. Moore checks up big. He's going to get a bump from Kenny Coppola. That's going to upset Kenny's car more than it is Corey's car, and he might lose a spot. As Alex Coffey's getting dive bombed by that 28, but he wraps it around the bottom. And that's one of those scary things, Nick. It looks like a driver might be dive bombing you for 2 or 3 car lengths back, but then all of a sudden they have the brakes to make the corner and you just checked up for no reason.
You saw Coppola locked up just for a second there, getting into 3. Maybe a little scary moment there for Corey Moore, but Moore losing a little bit of time now, falls in between Randy Mullins and Kenny Coppola. That is, I believe, 4th spot there. As we look further back in the field here, Victor Pfluger around the Caden Norfree. I believe that maybe Barry Sanders area as well. Actually, no, that's Aaron Matthews in the number 5. This is back for about 13th.
Sean Rogers just ran a 19.63 on that last lap. 22 looks like he's reeling them in a little bit. Not the biggest lead that we've seen so far tonight. That still belongs to Corey Moore, who's sitting in P4. Coppola sitting behind him, waiting patiently to make a move. And then Alex Coffey behind him, still trying to make a move.
Oh, car on the wall with the back. Caden Norfree, sorry about that. Caden Norfree just slammed the wall coming off of 2. Unsure where he went. He lost a lot of time. Yeah, he slapped the wall off of 2 and lost like 8 spots because of it.
Yeah, the exit of 2 and the exit of 4 are the deadliest spots of this racetrack. We've seen multiple self-spins coming out of 4. We've seen cars really smack the wall off of 2, so it seems to be the polar opposite. These guys are undercutting coming off of 4 and getting the car loose, but then they're understeering coming up out of 2, maybe putting the throttle down too early, getting the car tight and smacking the wall.
Well, we are coming up to the end of stage number 1 here. About 6 laps off of handing out some stage points here. Sean Rogers still your leader. He's got about a second lead over Jordan Schmitz. And he's also pulling on Mullins, Corey Moore, and a couple of other people as Shane Wyatt now passing his teammate Victor Pfluger. Nick King looks to follow that 23 as well. But stage points getting ready to be handed out here at Martinsville. And it's been getting pretty chippy for some stage points, I will say.
Yeah, it's definitely getting chippy. Not as many fenders being used in this last run as the one before, but Shane Wyatt, he's back up to P13. Like he said early on, all about track position. He might have had to do something at the stage to get it back, but I would not be upset with 13th after dropping all the way back to the last car on the lead lap. So he's making a move for 12th as well, but we're looking at Alex Coffey here right now. Good battle for some positions up front. Again, you want to get as many stage points as you can, but that number 1 spot's the most important one.
Yeah, for sure. Sean Rogers still holding that lead. Not really anyone able to challenge him here, as Barry Sanders thought about trying to go around the outside of the 19 of Alex Coffey. And actually, Coffey gets a little bit loose, so Barry Sanders to the inside. That is for 6th. And Coffey maybe thinking about the up and under here. Doesn't quite have the pace off of 4 for it, though, as we got 2 to go here in stage number 1.
Yeah, 2 to go. Sean Rogers with a huge lead right now over his teammate, and that 22 of Jordan Schmitz coming off of turn 4 to take the white flag in stage number 1.
Yeah, Sean Rogers got past Corey Moore about 25 laps ago, has not looked back since. He looks like he's got himself a nice little hot rod, no pun intended there, as he's working his way down the back straightaway and down into turn number 3 and 4. Sean Rogers going to come around and win his first stage of the season. Sean Rogers takes stage number 1.
Sean Rogers takes stage 1. Schmitz, Mullins, Moore, Coppola round out the top 5. Sanders, Coffey, Wilson, Curry, and Crosby round out the top 10. But you know what, Nick? I got to interview Shane Wyatt when he had some trouble, so let's interview our stage 1 winner, Sean Rogers. You got him, Nick.
Sean Rogers, stage 1 winner here. How's the car feeling? We saw you pass Corey Moore pretty easily there after about 45. How's that car feeling on the long run?
She's fast. Definitely got a lot of speed in this car tonight. Yeah, I see my opportunity. I was content riding behind Corey there for a little bit. Yeah, seeing the opportunity, took it, and here we are.
Now you're leading the madness down towards pit road. Any adjustments for that number 44 machine, or are we keeping it completely based?
Oh, completely the same. This thing's it's been quick all week in officials and another league I ran, so I know what it's capable of. Just gonna put some 4 fresh tires on it and let her rip.
Alrighty, congratulations on stage 1 win. We'll let you do your pit stop and get back on track.
Thanks, guys.
Now, Sean Rogers, your stage 1 winner. Sorry about that, Brandon. Said he was not going to make a single change to that car. So Sean Rogers at that number 44 feeling very, very quick.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of changes that you can make. You can do some clicks on the left rear and the right rear and things like that, some air pressure adjustments, but these setups are 95% locked in. You came with what you came with, and one person I really want to keep an eye on is Brandon Bikey. He started in the pits, technically started 15th, but started in the pits, and what I've seen tonight is a lot of the times he just kind of backs out of it and chills at the back of the pack. So I don't know if he's trying to avoid the mayhem, knowing that there's no fast repairs, or if something might be wrong with that 27 machine.
Mikey's always been good at Martinsville. I feel like he's just playing it safe here. But like I said, he should have himself a pretty fast car here. And it's Martinsville. This place changes by the run, so you have no idea what the track is going to be like in this next run. So we could see a totally new group of guys work their way up front and start to put their stake in for a win here.
Speaking of new guys up front, the 74 machine of Chris Davis, he is up front now after starting 28th on the grid. So some strategy out of that 74 machine. We'll have to keep an eye on him, as I believe he picked the outside lane here on this restart. So 2x2 lights on the pace car are out. Pace car is going to take that funny looking left turn. So we're going to slowly crawl to the Sim Wrap Market restart zone here for another restart at Martinsville. Coming off a turn 4, Chris Davis with the loud pedal hits it first, and what a restart by the 74. Sean Rogers thought about looking to the inside of the 54, decided not to. Gets clear of Jordan Schmitz coming up. Oh, and Randy Mullins with a crossover, huge crossover coming off of 2 down the back straightaway, going into turn 3 through the center of 3 and off of 4. Sean Rogers trying to get the lead back. He's going to get past the 74 of Davis. Now his eyes are focused on that 54. Jordan Schmitz is going to get by. Corey Moore might even get by. And here comes Blaine Wilson as well. Just got by Alex Coffey. He started 18th. He's up to 6. But the big mover still right now is Chris. Oh, Sean Rogers goes around. We almost, no caution. That's the first time tonight that we've seen a car self-spin coming up off of turn 4 and not have a caution. And there it is, just when you think he had the car to beat, an unfortunate mistake. And that's not even going to be the yellow. Sean Rogers locks it down, gets it back going, in a tough night for Jamison Middlemiss, as he is the cause of caution once again. I believe he looped it off of 4. Tough night for him. We saw him spinning down the back straightaway under caution when we were talking to Shane Wyatt. And oh boy, he's not had a good night tonight. So Nick, this is what you've missed since you were gone for 30 seconds. Sean Rogers looped it coming off of turn 4, locked the brakes down, no caution, and then Jamison Middlemiss brought out the caution once again, getting loose on the front straightaway.
So wait, hold on. What exactly happened to Sean Rogers?
He looped it off of 4, but not fully loop it, and iRacing being iRacing, he even hit the inside wall just a tad, and no caution.
Sounds like iRacing. So
Sean
unfortunate
Rogers,
there.
The rocket that he had has now been grounded back down to earth, and he's going to need some rocket fuel to get back to the front, because it is all about track position here.
Commentator's curse is a real thing, and yeah, we need to stop saying good things about a lot of people.
Well, if we don't say good things, then we say bad things, and then that makes us look bad. So let's keep saying good things, and if the commentator's curse hits them, I'm sorry. It's just like the Madden cover curse, the NCAA cover curse. I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we can't stop it. I mean, if we were to say, hey, that one Chevy with that one number of that one guy coming off a 2 would sound incredibly annoying. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to keep saying good things.
Oh man, some lighthearted fun here up in the booth as we're working lap 71 out of 250 here. Been a pretty good race so far. If you're just now joining us, Sean Rogers actually won stage 1, and then I'm assuming it was on the ensuing restart, proceeded to loop it off of turn number 4. So that's why Randy Mullins and Jordan Schmitz are up front. Corey Moore was your dominating car earlier in this race. He led the first, I believe, 43 laps of this race without much contest at all, until Sean Rogers came through and took the lead and ended up winning stage number 1. So been a very, very fun race so far, and we're just getting going here.
Well, you'll never believe it. We have the entire country of US America in the YouTube chat right now saying, hope y'all stay safe with these storms, and they say we all know 54's got this in the bag. Again, thanks for everybody for tuning in to Ballin TV's coverage, the Victory Designs 250 for the OB Builders Cup Series in the Moonshiners Racing League. We're going to the Sim Wrap Market restart zone. Nick, here we go.
Coming off of turn number 4, Randy Mullins going to be the control car here for this restart. Green flag out in the air, and he is a rocket ship. He is already clear of that 22 of Jordan Schmitz. Now Corey Moore to the inside of the 22. He wants second spot back, so he can start working on chasing that 54 back down.
And we said it earlier on, the new signing for the oh my goodness, excuse me, for the setup shop community at Precision. They're 2, 4, and 5 right now out on the racetrack. All of these guys have made their way to the front, and Shane Wyatt is back inside the top 10. So something that they've been trying to keep quiet for weeks has finally come to fruition, and here we are. These guys are flying up towards the front, but keep an eye on those beast mode guys as well, as there's trouble coming up off of turn 4. Barry Sanders almost loses it, but we stay green. 3 wide going into turn 1.
3 wide into turn number 1. They settle it back out to 2 wide pretty quickly. Barry Sanders and Caden Norfree side by side now. This is for, I believe, about 11th spot here, as Sanders gives up the position to the 35 of Caden Norfree. Fastest lap of the race, and oh no, Victor Pfluger spun on the outside of turn number 1. Wall rides it and keeps it going, no caution. And oh, and no, Chris Spear gets turned on the back straightaway, and I believe Darren Mills was also spinning there. Caution.
That was almost double trouble for Victor Pfluger. I don't know who was to his outside, but we had trouble going into the turn, and then as we were coming up off of 2, Victor Pfluger said, I got to part the seas real quick, and drove past the 2 cars wrecking in front of him. That could have been really bad. I know he's probably got enough damage from what happened right here.
Ah, man, just going for the same
code. The big net code, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, huge net code there, but they were going for the same piece of tarmac. I feel like they were going to hit either way. And you see Chris Spear get turned. Whew, wow.
Yeah, has to go through both of those. Man.
Oh, man. Martinsville always delivers here. Another look at the replay. This is what happened to Chris Spear in the number 7.
And remember, we do have an incident limit tonight in the 17 car. He's been in a few, and so has Jamison Middlemiss as well, so we're going to have to keep an eye on what these guys' incident level are at. And I'm surprised he didn't get DQ'd driving back across the track like that. Not from race control, of course. iRacing has this weird thing where you drive backwards for an inch or 2, and it's going to warn you, hey, man, you got to stop. So good to see that it didn't disqualify him.
Yeah, that usually takes a couple of seconds to kick that warning in, though, so definitely was not enough time to warrant any sort of black flag or any sort of warning there. So, yeah, iRacing can be weird sometimes, but they definitely do a good job of stopping tomfoolery.
Absolutely. Lap 79 of 250. Had a few cautions. Hopefully we can get it all sorted out, which I know we will. But at least we've seen some green flag runs, Nick. We've been a part of some atrocious Martinsville races, and this one does not even come close at all to the madness that we've seen. It's just a Martinsville race. You got people checking up, got people making mistakes, and that's all right.
All right, let's hear from the YouTube chat real quick. Who you got winning this race? I mean, we got getting up close towards halfway here. Let's see who this YouTube chat likes. I'll tell you what, I see a lot of cars in the top 10 I like, and it stretches across every single team in this league as well. So a lot more racing to come here as Pace Car pulls off towards the safety of pit road. Randy Mullins is going to be your control car. Corey Moore to his outside. Jordan Schmitz and Alex Coffey, road number 2. Blaine Wilson and Nick King, road number 3. As the green flag flies again, Corey Moore with a lot of wheel spin. Coffey gets turned to the inside wall. Blaine Wilson gets turned across the field. We've got the big one in turn number 1.
And that all started, I think Corey Moore wadded it up on the restart. That first gear restart that we were talking about, Nick. Oh boy. And teammates involved too. Coffey had nowhere to go, came across his teammate Blaine Wilson, and the big one. The absolute big one.
Parking lot. So we get a look at the restart here. See Corey Moore gets that big wheel spin. Actually may have gotten a bump from Alex Coffey. Coffey gets into Blaine Wilson, destroys the inside wall. Wilson, oh, Coppola takes a big hit there. Johnny Shea gets it. Sean Rogers was involved. Chris Spear luckily avoids it. Shane Wyatt involved again as well. A lot of good cars were just taken out in that wreck.
Oh man, well it's like New York City. Every day of the week someone accidentally cuts someone off and the next thing you know the whole bridge is closed for hours to come. But my goodness, I mean, look at this chaos that just ensues. Bounces off the wall, shoots Blaine Wilson back up in front of traffic. And the crazy part is Corey Moore, the car that spun his tires, that kind of helped develop this whole thing, got away from all of that, and he's sitting up there in P3.
That was a massive wreck.
Yeah, an unfortunate one. Unbelievable.
See a lot of the people on pit road that were involved in that. Matt Cox, Greg Carr, Justin Belmonte, Alex Coffey, probably with a lot of damage on that number 19 machine. Justin Belmonte's definitely got a ton of front end damage there. You can see the nose caved in. You can see the radiator also caved in as well. For the number 60, you see Blaine Wilson there. He's got a jacked up splitter. A lot of damage here at Martinsville, but that's the one good thing about Martinsville is if you get involved in a wreck like that, I mean, the damage, it'll do damage, but it's not going to hurt you too bad.
Yeah, but if you get one of those toe links broken or something bent, there's not a lot of time to get things fixed here at Martinsville. As you can see, here come the cars getting the wave around, because iRacing has that funky scoring loop or whatever you want to call it. Everyone getting blacks cleared by race control. They're going to be 2 by 2. And Nick, honestly, I think on this restart, I think we need to send it to a crank it up so that way we don't jinx these boys anymore.
Yeah, we'll get through this restart here and we'll send it to said crank it up because crank it ups at Martinsville are always fun. But Randy Mullins takes the green flag once again here. Another good jump for that number 54 machine. Got another car back there, had a little bit of wheel spin. I think that may have been Barry Sanders, but off of turn number 2, it's going to be Randy Mullins as we send it to a Ballin TV crank it up here from Martinsville. Oh, perfect timing. We'll go ahead and bring it back as we have a caution on the racetrack here. Nick King looks like he spun off of turn number 4 again. We were literally just getting ready to bring it back from the crank it up, and that caution dropped.
Literally goes, bring it back, and all I hear in my ear is caution's out. Great timing.
All I hear was bring it back. Caution, caution, caution.
Yeah, taking a look coming up off before. Just looping it again. Car's not fully around. I don't understand why iRacing throws the caution for that. I really do not understand how that is a caution. I mean, granted, you know, in real life they might, but I mean, he's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why iRacing throws the caution for that, but that is not my job.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, exactly.
Well, we'll get them all lined back up here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that little crank it up. I know I definitely did. I definitely did not just crank all the volumes down from blasting it during said crank it up, but we don't got to talk about it.
As we're starting to see a lot of these cars, I wish I could see the incident count. I don't know if that's something I can do to see. Normally it says on entries, Nick, the incident points next to their names, but it's all 0, 0, 0 for me, and I know for a fact that not everyone has 0 incident points.
Oh, they changed that recently. Spectators can no longer see incident counts, unfortunately. That's only for admins of the server, unfortunately.
But that's all right. We'll just guess and choose on who's got what.
I can't believe you just said that.
It's all fun. We gotta keep it fun.
Brandon's already starting to lose his mind here as we are working lap 93 here, working our way towards the end of stage number 2 here. Lap 120 is that mark we're looking to hit to pay out the final stage points on the night. Randy Mullins and Jordan Schmitz definitely look like the fastest cars so far, other than Corey Moore and Sean Rogers. Moore, though, sitting in that 3rd spot. Sean Rogers sits in about 9th.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I mean, we've seen a lot of wheel spin. We've seen a lot of self spins. Lights on the pace car, I believe, are out. Oh, there we go. Okay, they're getting themselves.
Okay, that was
It's
interesting.
like, wait a minute. All right,
I'm sitting here like, wait.
Market restart zone. Here we go.
Coming around turn number 4 here. Shortest pace laps on the NASCAR schedule. As Randy Mullins gets ready to take another green flag here. Green flag back out in the air. And a little bit cleaner of a start this time by Barry Sanders. Definitely looked like he got some more wheel spin there, but was able to keep it under control this time. And now Jordan Schmitz gets a pretty good run and gets clear for that 2nd spot.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean Rogers just got sent into turn number 3. Doesn't look like there's going to be a caution, but absolute chaos unfolding. And Coppola just got turned. Caution is out as they are wrecking down the front straightaway. This all started heading into 3.
Yeah, this was one of those chain reaction events where one thing happens. Oh, big damage to the right front.
Oof.
I even think the toes bent out of it a little bit. You can see that tire all crooked and whatnot.
Oh, you see right? Oh, it's actually Coppola.
His teammate.
Ron Rogers. Oh, and Aaron Matthews. Nowhere to go there, and Coppola gets turned in front of the field. Oh, man.
And what a conundrum that is. You accidentally get into the back of your teammate, ship him into turn 3, and then you accidentally come up on somebody. That's just sometimes the luck that people have at Martinsville. It just feels like when you're having a
the 78.
Okay, we didn't see that. We didn't see that.
But we didn't see that the first time by Chris Crosby got into the back of the 77, and that's what sent Sean Rogers so deep into turn 3.
Kenny, our apologies, brother.
Yes, we're sorry. We didn't mean it. We're just lowly commentators. We're sorry.
I want to give a big shout out to our producer as well, DJ Lion, blimp driver, production truck, button pusher. Coming in with these great camera angles, the multiple replays. This is his first time producing this series this year, so happy to have you on board, Deej, as always. I believe he'll be producing the rest of the year, so we look forward to it. A lot of fun times here in the booth, and I want to see one of those famous DJ Lion blimp cams.
Yeah, let's see a blimp cam real quick. Get a look at just how small this place is. And look at that, out in the middle of nowhere, too. God, this is the only good track in Virginia.
You know, if they can have airplanes landing on iRacing in turn 1 and 2, we should be able to have that train come down the back straightaway here at Martinsville.
That would be cool.
What a blimp cam, DJ. Thank you very much.
And if anyone wants to fight me on the Martinsville being the best track in Virginia, I will be willing to fight you at any time. I hate Richmond.
Oh, Richmond is horrid.
Yeah, I absolutely despise Richmond. If we want to start a list, let's start a list. What's your top 5 least favorite tracks to race in NASCAR?
Oh, goodness gracious. Richmond, Darlington, because I personally stink, and all the road courses. There you go.
I mean, fair enough. Well, I'll do my list a little bit later on as we are coming back to another restart here. As we're just hit triple digits in terms of laps. Just hit lap 100, coming to take 101 as we start the quick little sprint to the end of the stage here. Randy Mullins takes it through the Simrad Market restart zone. Green flag out in the air here at Martinsville once again.
Yeah, 2x2 coming through turn 1 and 2. Here's someone that we got to keep an eye on. The 28 car of Brian Curry started 12th up to P3s, kept his nose clean all night, battling for second position right now. These cars, oh, and we got another one.
Caution on the racetrack.
Another one.
Oh, Brandon's sad now. Nick King and Caden Norfree looking like the culprits here. Gotta look at a replay as soon as we can. Speaking of the devil, this was going into turn number 3. Nick King. Was he the wrecker or the wrecky? Oh boy.
Well, not a lot of damage to that 35, so I think he'll be okay. But I believe the 12 has had 2 self-spins coming off of... Oh, my goodness. He done sent it in there, Nick.
Yeah. Lick the stamp and send it, brother.
You see a few cars coming down pit road. Shane Wyatt's on pit road. Sean Rogers on pit road. Nick Stein, our commentator, is just manually disconnected from the session, so that tells me we probably won't hear from...
No, I alt-tabbed and my iRacing window was, you know, the actual window and not in just borderless, and that absolutely ticks me off, so I had to reconnect real quick.
Borderless.
Oh, man, I'm just not having a good night with the hardware, boys.
That is perfectly okay. I'd like to know
Had the internet outage, and then I had to leave again right there after the start of stage 1 to restart the old computer real quick.
Bad Racer in the chat says, get a caution counter up. I've lost track, personally. I'd like to know how many green flag laps versus how many under caution, says Reed. And US America says, we should just say F it and go all race under caution. That, unfortunately, is how most iRacing A Open races or NIS races go. We were talking to a buddy of ours last night, Nick, who did 300 laps here and said he spent 175 of them pacing. So,
oh
boy, indeed. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably that actually reminds me of a story. One of the first ever NIS races I did here was a 250. It was the first time they did a night race here at Martinsville for NIS. I remember it so vividly. We had 34 cautions, 212 laps under caution.
Let me tell you something. I don't understand how a bunch of drunk boys at a local track on a Saturday night running 604 crates in the street stocks can keep it clean more than the best pro racers on iRacing. But these guys, I gotta hand it to them though. There have been a lot less cautions than we've seen anywhere else. Like I always say, this is a very clean league. Yes, people make mistakes here and there, but 90% of these cautions shouldn't have been cautions with the self-spins off of 4. It's just iRacing's weird little zone.
Yeah, we're coming up to the sim wrap market restart zone once again. Green flag back out in the air here. Randy Mullins, another really good jump. Brian Curry actually gets himself a pretty good restart as well. Looks to the inside of the 22 at Jordan Schmeets. That's for second spot. And Curry, man, he looks fast here in that number 28 Toyota Camry, as he's still working to the inside of the 22 at Schmeets. Everyone keeps it clean for now. Got a car on the wall. I believe it was Victor Fluger off of turn number 4, but everyone keeps it straight here, and we are still racing, still green here at Martinsville as Randy Mullins starts to pull away.
Yeah, and these boys, I think they just got to calm it down for a little bit. I think they just got to let it go. Oh man, I don't know if you're seeing this, Nick, for the second week in a row, Kenny Coppola is done, will not finish this race.
Tough stretch here for that number 77, who had such high aspirations coming into this race. Has dominated the last 4 from what I've heard here at Martinsville. So unfortunate end of the night for Kenny Coppola, as he will no longer be racing, and that has just been a rough start to the season for that number 77.
Absolutely. Shane Wyatt back there, Paul Gallimore, Chris Spear, Matt Cox and Alex Coffey, who have all had trouble still trying to make their way back up to the front, especially Sean Rogers as well in front of all those boys. Lots of trouble on the racetrack tonight. We've seen 2 big ones now. Absolutely horrendous parking lots. As we see Sean Rogers making a move to the inside going into turn 3 on Nick King.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of different cars show speed here tonight. I mean, Randy Mullins has shown speed all night. Jordan Schmeetz has been up in second place a lot tonight. Corey Moore led a lot of laps. Brian Curry's been dicing his way through the field. I mean, basically go through the field and click on a random car, and they've probably been up towards the front at some point tonight. Sean Rogers was up front a good chunk. Alex Coffey and Johnny Shade are working their way back up as well. Shane Wyatt's also trying to work his way back up. So a lot of different cars have shown a lot of different speed here today. But right now, Randy Mullins definitely the fastest car on track.
Yeah, the fastest car on track. We've seen a lot of beating and banging here tonight, but don't count out Jordan Schmeetz in that 22. I think he's got a long run car. We just got to get that long run for him to be able to come back up through, as we see Sean Rogers diving it to the inside of that 8 car, trying to make up as many spots as he can. Sean Rogers might have the car to win tonight. He has the speed, he has the patience. It's just, unfortunately, everyone's been beat up.
And here's a little fun stat for you. We have not had a single... Actually, that's a lie. We have had one person sweep the stages all year, and that was Shane Davis at Phoenix. But other than that, we have not had a single repeat stage winner.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, going back to the YouTube chat, we were talking about our least favorite racetracks. We're going to let Nick get to hit his list. But if everyone in YouTube chat could just give us your least favorite NASCAR track to watch on TV at least. Because sometimes, like New Hampshire, for example, Nick, you know how much I love New Hampshire. It's abysmal on TV, but in person, it's a lot of fun.
Got a car off the track and off pace. Jamison Middlemiss is working his way off of turn number 2, just spun off of turn number 4 in front of the leaders. And that car has seen better days.
Oh, and Brian Curry just saved it coming off of turn 4 as we're looking at a replay of what happened to Jamison Middlemiss going into turn 1. Got a lot of damage on that right front. Coming down the back straightaway. So he got in the wall a little bit right there. Oh my gosh, look at Nigel Christensen's left front. It is destroyed.
And a little slide to a stop there for the 16 of Jamison Middlemiss.
If we could get a shot of Nigel.
Actually, well, we just hit the end of stage number 2. That's my fault. Didn't realize we were already so late into stage number 2. But Randy Mullins just took the checkered flag for stage number 2, and number 22 of Jordan Schmeetz. He was actually not far behind Randy Mullins there at the time of the green and white checker. But Randy Mullins takes another stage win on the year. And a little bit earlier when I said there hadn't been a repeat stage winner, what I actually meant to say is we hadn't had anyone win both stages to this point in the year other than Shane Davis at Phoenix. So that's my fault for that confusion. I don't know if anyone had posted about it, but I just had to say something real quick.
Well, Nick, we're going to talk to stage 2 winner Randy Mullins. You got him.
Randy Mullins, stage 2 winner here. How you feeling after that?
Pretty good.
Dominating car there in stage number 2. Any changes coming for that number 54?
No, I'm probably going to keep it the same. It's got good balance. I'm going to go ahead and just put 4 on it and fill it up with fuel, and then we'll see how this goes.
Now, final question here real quick, and we'll let you get back to your team. How do you go about surviving the chaos? We've seen a couple of guys, be up front and get involved in some incidents, whether it be a big wreck. How do you go about avoiding that chaos to stay up front here?
Just don't lose control of the race. That's really what it comes down to. I don't know if anybody stayed out there, but if you could stay on the front row, get control. We don't seem to be having long runs, so you can control the start. That's really the only thing I got, because right now it's a mess.
It's definitely a mess there. Randy Mullins, your stage 2 winner. We'll let you get back to your team and get ready for this next restart.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
As Randy Mullins, your stage 2 winner there, says gotta control the race in order to come home with the win here, and he asked about had anyone actually stayed out. Yeah, he had a couple of guys stay out, actually. Matt Cox, Shane Wyatt, Chris Davis, and Nigel Christensen, and Greg Carr all decided to stay out. Actually, Greg Carr just came down pit road, so Matt Cox, Shane Wyatt, Chris Davis, and Nigel Christensen, the 4 cars that decided to stay out on old tires here.
Speaking of taking control, let me tell you something. Kelly Coffey's 100% right. NASCAR needs to take control of themselves and get Phoenix out of the championship race. It is a horrible racetrack. It is so bad, Kelly. It is. Thank you. Thank you very much. And US America says, I'm on the fence for short track racing, but hate road courses. Short track racing in this car, horrendous. If you go back to Gen 4, Gen 6, anything else but this car, short track racing was great. As we're going back to the Simrat Market restart zone, Nick.
Another new leader on the night. Matt Cox has control of the restart this time as he works his way towards the restart zone. Green flag back out in the air. Actually got a pretty even start there up front. As Matt Cox works his way down into turn number 1. Chris Davis to the inside of the 23 of Shane Wyatt. And here come the fresh tire guys already hounding Shane Wyatt.
And Chris Davis, Matt Cox and Shane Wyatt staying out. Shane Wyatt just couldn't get it rolling on the outside, but he's battling for P4 with Randy Mullins. And here he comes again, slowly making his way through the field. Last week's winner, Brandon Fetterplace, he said it was obvious. He said this himself, Nick. He said that the wrong guy was in victory lane, but I had to disagree with him 100% on that. He's shown speed all year long. It's just a few end of race mistakes from others around him or himself that has caused him not to be a multi-time winner. But if he keeps doing what he's doing here tonight, I don't see a single scratch on that car. I think Brandon Fetterplace is one to look out for as well.
And for those of you that either did not catch the race last week or weren't able to watch it at all, Brandon Fetterplace survived an absolutely chaotic race last week at Homestead where we had multiple different race-winning cars taken out over multiple different wrecks. And Brandon Fetterplace survived the chaos and held off a late charge from Shane Wyatt and came home with the win. Shane Wyatt came home in second, actually, after pitting 15 laps later than everyone and running down a 17-second gap in the span of the last 20 laps. So very hard charge there from Shane Wyatt last week. And now Fetterplace working to the inside of the guy he beat last week.
One person I haven't been able to see make their way back up through the field is Alex Coffey. I think he's having some trouble with the handling of that race car right now with the hit that he took earlier on. Same thing with Sean Rogers. I don't know if he's just waiting or if he's just waiting for the chaos to die down, but he was really charging on that last green flag run that he had, but he was sitting P15 as...
And caution. Johnny Shade, gets nailed right at the end, too. I think that may have been Blaine Wilson.
I don't know. Johnny Shade got around coming up off of 4. There's the leader. Be careful, Johnny. Pucker moment.
Wow. Get a look at this replay here. Johnny Shade off of 4. Caught
got
the
the
curb. Got hit by Alex Coffey. And, it was not Blaine Wilson. It was actually Greg Carr in the 25 that nailed Johnny Shade there at the end.
Well, since we're under caution again, and we are past stage 2 after this replay, we're going to send it to a quick commercial break so you can hear from our sponsors that help make it happen every single week here at Ballin TV. Again, this is the OB Builders Cup Series for the Victory Designs 250 here at Martinsville Speedway, and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Ballin TV's coverage of the OB Builders Cup Series for the Victory Designs 250 here at Martinsville Speedway. Brandon Edstrom, Nick Stein, our producer DJ Lion bringing you the action here tonight. Thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, because we will be broadcasting this series all year long. 115 laps to go. We'll have 114 laps to go at the line. One car still on pit road. In 26th position, that's the 7 car of Spear. To the Sim Wrap Market restart zone we come. Matt Cox controls it with Jordan Schmeets to his outside. Randy Mullins the first behind the leader. Green flag is back out. Matt Cox going to take that dive down into turn 1. Randy Mullins is going to get clear of Jordan Schmeets, and you can see a big tire difference already between that 54 and the 32 as Mullins is going to pull the crossover down the back straightaway. Look to the inside of Matt Cox on the exit of turn 4. 2x2 down the front straightaway. Battle for the lead. Give that one to, I believe, Mullins. Oh, better place gets turned by Wyatt going into turn 1. And somehow they both save it. 78 hops the curb. Oh, and we're wrecking after the caution. Nick King gets turned around. Big checkup down the back straightaway. Taking a look at the replay, Shane Wyatt had been battling Fetter Place for the last lap or two since we went back green. Coming down the front straightaway. Oh, Fetter Place clear. But Shane Wyatt, I think, had intentions on sending it in. We'll have to go back and take a look at the chaos that ensued after the 12 car gets turned around. Take a look at it once again. And then right after this, a little bit of chaos. 78 caught the curb, came back up on the racetrack. You can see these guys checking up. Big shot to the 12. Oh, and then they just got collected together. Coming out of turn 2. Bringing us back live here under caution once again. 111 laps to go. Matt Cox still leads, followed by Mullins, Schmeets, Wyatt, and Corey Moore that round out the top 5. There's the most positions gained tonight. That belongs to Aaron Matthews and Chris Davis, and Paul Gallimore with 11, Brandon Fetterplace with 8, Jared Clark with 8, Greg Carr with 6, and everyone else has 5. Well, tonight's been a very interesting race, to say the least. We've seen a lot of comers and goers. We've seen a lot of chaos. 110 laps to go now here at Martinsville, and I have a feeling that we're just getting started in terms of aggression. It's going to get knocked up. Kelly Coffey said, can't wait for Sunday's race for a ride by Speed U, going to be at Atlanta Legends Oval. Absolutely, we're also very excited. That's why I always like to tell people to subscribe. We got a good series going on Sunday, presented by Freight Racing and Speed University, where they're giving a shot for any kid under the age of 18 that is in the league to win a fully funded Legends ride for the
from what I heard,
2026 Atlanta race. NASCAR will be there. They'll get to race in front of a bunch of NASCAR scouts, teams, drivers, all sorts of stuff, and that ride will be fully funded, and whoever ends up winning that will get to go down to Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome back, Nick.
I was just getting ready to say, I heard we got a pretty tight points battle for the Speed U League going on, as well as we're coming back to a restart here at Martinsville. Matt Cox, Randy Mullins up front, Jordan Schmeets, and look who's back up front. Shane Wyatt restarting 4th here. Green flag out in the air here as Randy Mullins actually starts from the outside this time. And we're single file through our first 3 spots now. Actually, Jordan Schmeets gets to the inside of Shane Wyatt off of 2, and they're side by side down the back straightaway.
Keep an eye on Fetterplace and Wyatt here. I don't think Fetterplace would do anything back to Shane, but on that last restart, Better Place clearing himself. Didn't make contact with Shane. Wasn't anything egregious, but I think Shane had intentions on diving it in there. Better Place and Wyatt side by side. Better Place gonna let it go. Good on Randy Mullins. Oh, he's coming down pit road.
What is going on with Randy Mullins? He's actually got a black flag. Oh, he was given an EOL penalty. Nope, that's Tim Wortman Jr. being given an EOL penalty. My bad. I believe that may have been a black flag for passing before the start-finish line.
Oh, man. And that is going to hurt the 50. He's going to go a little down, and unfortunately, he's not only car a lap down. Barry Sanders, Jared Clark also laps down. He might go 2 laps down here. Maybe
he's actually stopping in his pit box. Wonder if this is a hold penalty for Randy Mullins. No, it was a stop go. He's back out on track now. Lost a lap and a half in the process.
Yeah, and he's
restart violation was the official call.
Confirmed. And he is the 4th car 1 lap down. Jared Clark, who's half a straightaway in front of him. Barry Sanders in turn 3 and 4. Justin Belmonte now on the front straightaway. Not what Mullins wanted to see. So even if we had a caution, he would not get the wave around. So big issues for the 54. Is Matt Cox still your leader? Coming up off of turn 4, followed by Schmitz, Better Place, and Moore and Curry rounding out the top 5. You got Wyatt Matthews, Nick King, Victor Fluger, and Chris Crosby rounding out the top 10. What a chaotic race here tonight for the Victory Designs 250, Nick. And we're coming down to the end of it. We're going to come up to 100 laps to go in just a few more laps.
I just realized something, Brandon.
Guess
who's not here? Your points leader, Shane Davis, is not here. He did not start. It took me this long to realize I have not seen Shane Davis all night, and that's because he is not racing here. So your points leader early on, not racing here at Martinsville, and took our awesome commentators 151 laps to figure it out.
Man, we suck.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we also have a very good excuse, as there has been a lot of chaos here.
We'll have to check in on him after the race, make sure that he's not in one of those areas that's affected by storms right now. Want to make sure that everybody is safe. And we want to give our thoughts and prayers to everybody that's across the nation right now under this crazy weather. It's not supposed to hit us in New England until tomorrow, and then we have 6 straight days of rain, so I can't wait to be 3 feet underwater once again, Nick.
Yeah, and I can give a little bit of an update on said severe weather as we got our points up on the screen there. Shane Davis not there. Randy Mullins just had some issues as well.
He might keep the points lead. He might be able to keep the points lead depending on how much they pay out. But I don't think so. If Randy Mullins can come back through the field, he might be your new points leader after tonight.
Yeah, I can give a little bit of an update on said severe weather going on right now. Currently, 17 tornado warnings active right now, so it's calmed down just a little bit from what it was earlier. I saw it as high as 30 at one point earlier, so definitely calmed down as the sun started to go down, but this is about the time where it's supposed to start ramping up, so definitely keep thoughts and prayers for those being affected right now. The Jonesboro, Arkansas area is just being absolutely run down by storms right now. Storm after storm after storm has gone through Jonesboro today, so a lot of areas being affected. I believe it was Lake City, Arkansas, took a direct hit about an hour and a half ago from a violent tornado, so a lot of places being hit right now, but it has definitely calmed down just a little bit, and we're going to hope it stays that way.
Yeah, unbelievable, the weather system that's coming through the U.S. right now. We've got 94 laps to go. Jordan Schmidt still trying to make up the time to your leader, that 32 car of Cox, and then Better Place clawing his way back up to 3rd, and he was just the car that we saw around on that previous restart. There a move down in 1, so Better Place ain't in it, keeping his head up.
Yeah, Matt Cox, he pulled a little bit, pulled almost about 0.7 of a second on Jordan Schmitz for the lead, but Schmitz has pulled him in by about 0.3 of a second now that Matt Cox is starting to catch a little bit of lap traffic here. just lapped the 20 of Nigel Christensen. And they got a lot more to deal with as they're coming up on Jamison Middle Miss and then a little bit of clean air before they start catching the back of the field. So lap traffic definitely going to become a part of this race here soon.
You see the leaders coming up off of turn 4. Heavy damage for in front of them. He's going to be respectful and get out of the way. So we're on board with Alex P14 trying to claw his way back through the field. I think he's got too much damage on that machine, unfortunately. Roger's still back there in 12th. He might not have a chance. Wyatt back up to 6th, though. We talked about him a little bit tonight. It's been in 3 instances, so I know that X limit is getting up there. He wants to be real careful, but solid rebound for him in that 23 car is Nigel Christensen. Yeah, but we didn't really get to...
Oh, no, Aaron Matthews. Sideways down the front straightaway. There's the caution. Oh, man, that was your biggest mover of the race right there, Aaron Matthews. Just an innocent bystander there.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate. You can see the left front of Christensen destroyed. 5 car goes into turn 3, coming up off of 4. I mean, Christensen is right up against the wall. But Aaron Matthews just said, sorry, didn't see you there on the radio, so no hard feelings for them. Poor Christensen, his left, I mean, look at his left front. Once we get done with the replay, if we could just take a look at it one more time. We went to go look at it earlier, but unfortunately a caution came out. Christensen all the way up against the wall, and 5 car didn't know he was there, but let's take a look at that 20 car's left front just to show everyone why he's so off pace here tonight. That left front is killed.
That left front is toast.
As they start getting back going here, you'll be able to see.
I tell you what, though, Brandon, we had a little bit of a split strategy going on up front now. This race just got interesting. Matt Cox and Jordan Schmeetz brought it down pit road. Brian Curry followed them down as well. So 3 out of your top 5 came down pit road.
Yeah, we're starting to get to that that pay window. They can make it on fuel from here, and if we have a green flag run, it would benefit these boys to be on these new tires. But again, it's going to take a long time and a long run for that to be able to work. Because unfortunately, we're just going to keep going back and forth with the strategy. And one of them is going to prevail, but we won't find out until the completion of this race. 86 laps to go in the Victory Designs 250.
Yeah, been a very, very fun race to this point. Just cracked an hour and 15 minutes since the drop of the green flag. So we have been moving pretty quickly for Martinsville standards. 165 out of 250. So 100, actually, no, that's a lot. 85 to go here from Martinsville. So, like I said, been a very, very fun race so far, I feel like, Brendan.
Yeah, and honestly, we've had a lot more cautions than we should have. A lot of, mistakes coming up off of 4 and 2. Drivers that weren't necessarily even sideways, just iRacing having their little weird caution tracking, I guess you could call it, at Martinsville, but that's been a thing for years. But we'll be interested to see how this 35 handles being up front as we come to the Sim Wrap Market restart zone.
Brandon Fetterplace, your leader heading into that said restart zone. Green flag out in the air for the 34 of Fetterplace, who called it an underdog win last week at Homestead. Well, Mr. Underdog finds himself up front here at Martinsville late on in this with a damn good chance at winning this. So Brandon Fetterplace is definitely putting himself on the map here, and I don't think he's going to be considered an underdog after this week.
Yeah, keep an eye on Corey Moore as well. You're all about Sheet Metal Pole Award winner. Trying to make his way back up front. Shane Wyatt sends it to the inside of the 35. He's going to get past Norfrey. Is now Pfluger side by side with Schmeetz as well. Schmeetz losing a lot of spots. The 28's going to come with the 43. Pokes his nose through the middle. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Schmeetz might try to pass 3 cars before we even get to turn 1. Pfluger locks up. Jordan Schmeetz has to check up. still side by side with that 28 down the back straightaway.
This is a battle for 6th place here on track. Brian Curry, Jordan Schmeets side by side. Schmeets gets a little bit loose, gives a little bit of a hip check to the 28 of Curry. Curry, though, not giving up just yet. He's going to send it all the way down to the inside. Caden Norfrey, meanwhile, losing a ton of time here as there's a car spinning down the back straightaway. That is going to be Paul Gallimore, and that is going to bring out another caution here tonight from Martinsville. And I tell you what, though, Matt Cox, he took those fresh tires, only lost a couple of spots, but he was definitely starting to catch the 34 at Brandon Fetter Place before that caution came out.
And I did not notice this. Randy Mullins disconnected after that penalty. He's done for the night. No longer in the lobby.
So first and second in points out of this race early on. And to be fair, a lot of your top 5 in points are all struggling. Of course, Randy Mullins retired. Blaine Wilson has had damage for the majority of this race. He's sitting in 11th place right now. Shane Wyatt, out of your top 5, is the best car right now. I just saw him. Where did he go? He came down pit road, but he was up in 3rd. But where is Shane Wyatt? Oh, no.
Shane Wyatt down the back straightaway going into 3 under caution has disappeared.
Oh, no.
And he is now, oh boy.
Oh, brother. There it is. Dropped due to upload packet loss. Shane Wyatt has disconnected, and we know it's not because of the weather. He is not in the bad weather area. He just has some Duke internet.
What a weird race. What an absolute...
Is it a full moon outside? Could someone look that up?
I'm going to look it up. Give me a second.
I'm also going to look it up as well. So both commentators now looking up if it is if it's a full moon outside. I was just getting ready to say he was the best car out of the top 5 in points. Well, that's not true anymore.
Oh, no.
So
what? I think we need to go all aboard the struggle bus. I think we're finally
there. We are officially on the struggle bus there. You see Shane Davis did not show up tonight. Randy Mullins has pulled up behind the wall. He's done for the night. Blaine Wilson is technically your best running car in terms of the points race right now. He is up in 13th spot right now. Actually, Alex Coffey is 1 spot in front of him, so he would be the best car out of the top 5 in points right now.
Oh boy. All right, gearing back up, coming to 76 to go.
Coming to 76 to go. Brandon Fetter Place has control. Shane Wyatt is back in the lobby, by the way, trying to get back in the car. Green flag back out in the air here. Fetter Place hits it early on in the restart zone, gets clear of the 32 of Matt Cox. Matt Cox is on fresh tires, by the way, so do not be surprised if he becomes a lot faster than the rest of the field here. So just keep that in mind as he works around the 42 of Corey Moore.
Trying to work around Corey Moore. He does it successfully on the outside. The 32 coming up off of 2. Trying to get back to the rear bumper of Fetter Place. Pfluger battling Schmeets as well. Cars battling all over the place. And for the first time tonight, and there goes Victor Pfluger as soon as I said his name. We got to stop talking. Oh, no.
Oh, man. Commentator's curse is doing its worst tonight. Every time we try to talk about someone,
Did I just hear you facepalm?
Yeah, I'm certainly facepalming right now.
Oh, boy. Kelly Coffey said flag run, question mark. I'll probably eat those words now. And Dalton Barrier said, yikes, guys. Oh, he got a little bit of help. I mean, there was 8 inches of net code, but or prediction code, net code, whatever you want to call it.
Keep in mind, this is just purely because it is Martinsville. Every single person, no matter if it's an official race,
no, not at all. This league is
every single race at Martinsville, whether it be officials, leagues, any car that races here at Martinsville, it is going to be a crapshoot. There's just no way about it. This track is too small, and it's internet racing, so things are going to happen here, and it's always going to be a caution fest. So if this is your first time watching this league, no, this is not how it is all the time. These guys usually put on some pretty darn good shows week in and week out. It's just Martinsville absolutely sucks with its caution system, so that's why there have been so many cautions here tonight. So if you want to see some actual good racing, you can watch last week's race at Homestead, which put on a show, or you can catch us next week at Darlington. But just know, it is just because it's Martinsville week. Martinsville always sucks.
And to explain netcode to someone a little bit, it's basically iRacing's prediction of, are you going to hit that person? In that instance, it didn't look like that the 28 was going to get into Victor Pfluger there. They were both very respective, had lots of room, but it's just like when you're playing Call of Duty and the dude aims at you and he's 12 feet off and somehow it's a headshot. It's the internet, and unfortunately, sometimes the things that we see or other people do aren't exactly what you're going to see on your screen, and unfortunately, with everything being digital, that's just how it's going to work. Hell, you could have 2.5 gig internet and still get netcoded or netcode someone else.
Yeah, we're just not at the point in online gaming where we can have
get them all in the
absolutely
same
perfect.
room. Get
Yeah,
them all
literally
in the same
LAN party,
Land.
Darlington. Let's go.
That means we could have some real fights, boys. Come on.
Oh, God. All right. Well, we're coming to another restart here. Feder Place is still your leader. Matt Cox still to his outside. Victor Pfluger, Jordan Schmeetz. I feel like that's not Victor Pfluger, excuse me. That's Corey Moore in third. Green flag out in the air here once again from Martinsville. Corey Moore actually gets a pretty darn good restart here, but decides to give up all that advantage heading down into turn number 1, and Matt Cox is going to get clear for second.
No, I don't think he let him go. I think Cox sent it and somehow made it stick through the center of 1 and 2, takes away P2 side by side for P4. Corey Moore trying to get back up there and battle for the lead. Cox all over the rear bumper of Feder Place. Cox is really able to diamond the track, cut back down, and get that good run off. What a line from the 32. And here comes Brandon Bikey almost inside the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Told you, that's a name we haven't said much tonight, as Brian Curry goes spinning off of turn number 4. No caution for it, as we got a race for the lead now. Matt Cox to the inside of the 34 of Brandon Feder Place. We are side by side down the back straightaway through 3 and 4. Feder Place actually holding pretty strong on that outside, is eventually going to have to give it up, though, to the 32 of Matt Cox and put that 32 back up into the lead.
I was going to say, that's exactly what Corey Moore would have wanted to see them battling side by side, but unfortunately it did not last long. 67 laps to go, coming to 66. Can Corey Moore get back up there? Can Feder Place steal another one? Can Matt Cox get his first win of the year? Can Schmeetz score a win? Can Bikey get back up there and win this thing? A lot of different names in a hat that could win this race.
A lot of storylines developing here in the final 100 laps of this one. Of course, Matt Cox, he's on fresh tires. He pit with one of the previous cautions. He's only on about 15 lap old tires. So he is on, if I'm not mistaken, 33 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field.
Man.
Oh, caution is out.
Oh, they're stacked up in turn 1. I think it was Middle Miss that was involved in that one again. A lot of rough nights for some of these guys, Nick.
Yeah, it has been.
Oh, it happened in front of them.
Oh, yeah, it did.
35 across the nose. Another car couldn't quite see who it was. Oh, the 20.
Now here's the one. Here is the one advantage if you have not taken tires yet. If you're Brandon Feder Place, if you're Corey Moore, Jordan Schmeetz, Chris Crosby, Brandon Bikey, anyone either in the top 5 or right on the edge of the top 5, and you're on older tires than Matt Cox, the one advantage you have is you still have an extra set of tires over Matt Cox. So if we get a late caution, and based on the way this race has gone, we're at least going to have a couple of more, you're basically going to get a free pit stop here, because the only person who came down pit road recently was Matt Cox. So if you're Matt Cox, you're sitting here thinking, man, I hope I could save enough tire to hold these guys off.
Yeah, Tim Wortman Jr. had come down pit road, but now he's coming down pit road again. Bikey came down pit road. Shade came down pit road. Gallimore, Sanders, Fluger, Caden Norfree, Chris Spear, Brian Curry, Middle Miss again. All those guys came down pit road, but there are a lot of cars that these guys are going to have to work through.
Here's Blaine Wilson. That's a name we have not talked about much tonight. He's quietly got himself back up into the top 10 after being involved in an early wreck. So good on Blaine Wilson getting all that damage fixed, staying in it. And he had himself what looked like a top 5 car earlier on in this race. He started 18th, got up into nearly the top 5 before being involved in that first big one, going down into turn number 1. So Blaine Wilson looking to get his race and his season back on the racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of these guys with rough nights, just trying to get it back together, really. A lot of problems, a lot of mistakes. Let's see if they can keep it clean and green.
And I tell you what, Brandon, it's been a good thing tonight. We have not had to use the beef sticker once, so I am proud of these guys. So we'll come to another restart here. Lap 190 out of 250. Matt Cox has control of this restart. Green flag back out in the air here. He's going to get himself a good jump, get up in front of the 34 of Fetter Place. And Fetter Place looks like he's going to slide down in front of Corey Moore.
Alex Coffey still fighting his way back up to the front. Sean Rogers, haven't mentioned him in a while either. They're trying to make their way back up there. Fresh tires for Bikey though on that outside line, that red and white striped yellow car. A lot of these guys got to come back through the field at the end of the race. 59 laps to go. Cox has the strongest car right now, but how long will it last? See Coffey battling side by side with the 78 of Crosby.
I was just getting ready to say, is that Alex Coffey in the top 5 again? And it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, we got to sit in on one of their practice sessions this week, and I knew that their car was going to be good on the outside past the 78. And it looked like he was standing still on the outside. So Alex Coffey has another option. That top line's starting to come in if you have the car tuned up there. So if he ends up getting side by side with Jordan Schmeetz, if he makes a mistake and jumps to the outside, I think Coffey's going to be able to get it. But Schmeetz slips up right there. Coffey peeks a nose, decides not to take it. And down into turn 3, Coffey patiently waiting in the wind, waiting for these mistakes to happen. We've seen a lot of them tonight. It's only a matter of time, but is Jordan Schmeetz the kind of guy to make that mistake from what we've seen this year? Absolutely no.
Yeah, and to clarify real quick, the inside is always going to be the preferred line here at Martinsville, but what Brandon was meaning by he could stick on the outside is if he gets someone that dives bombs it to the inside of him, Alex Coffey, he can hold it on that outside and keep it there as he actually makes a little bit of contact with the 22 of Jordan Schmeetz. That was for 4th place. Schmeetz now trying to save it. Chris Crosby almost turns that 22, but they keep it going. And oh man, Schmeetz, I don't know how he didn't loop it off of 2 there.
I think that was the cleanest bump and run we've seen all night. Great move by Alex Coffey. But now
it was
Schmeetz
completely clean too.
Yeah, and I mean, Schmeetz got a little sideways, but contact in these cars isn't exactly like it is in real life. I mean, if that was...
Oh, caution on the racetrack.
Uh-oh.
Not sure who or what for. Oh, Tim Wortman Jr. outside of turn number 1.
Oh, I did not see him. Ruh-roh.
Well, that sets up an interesting strategy option here. Do you come down, make your final pit stop this early, or do you wait just a little bit and have a little bit more of an advantage?
Yeah, Schmeetz is coming down pit road. But now here these boys come. Alex Coffey up to 4th. Sean Rogers.
Wortman just looped it off of 4.
Yeah,
decided to keep it up there. But yeah, interesting strategy options gonna start playing out here. A couple of guys came down pit road. They're gonna have a lot of traffic to work through, but there is a chance that those fresh tires could be the difference here, as we still got 50 to go, but there should be a couple more cautions if you're indecisive at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are just trying to do what other people aren't doing, see if they can get some track position back. under green or hope for another big yellow. Bikey still trying to make his way up there. Blaine Wilson. All right, you know what, Nick? Let's get Alex Coffey up in here.
I'll let you
Got
take
him.
this interview.
All right, Alex Coffey's Brandon Edstrom up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Lots of work you've had to put in tonight. Talk me through having to come through the field twice, essentially, and bust your ass off to get back up here.
It's been something, that's for sure. Also, my force feedback just went out as I was saying that, so there's that. But I think we got a good car. Hopefully be able to do something with it.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to be restarting fourth on the outside here. It looks like that your setup is really tuned for that outside. You can get around people, it seems like, if you put enough into it. But you're going back green here, so we'll let you get back to it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Alex Coffey in that 19 machine.
One of those brand new precision cars.
And his force feedback went out, so the chaos continues.
Well, chaos is getting ready to resume twofold here as we're coming to another restart. Matt Cox, Brandon Fetterplace, Corey Moore, and Alex Coffey for the first back up into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Green flag out in the air. Matt Cox gets another good restart and hops up in front of that 34 Brandon Fetterplace as he's done a lot here. And now Fetterplace going to have to work around that outside of Corey Moore. But Moore looks like he's got the inside down into 3.
Hunter's not afraid to use that front bumper. Gave Moore a little bit of a bump, but not anything too big. And another surprise, I'm seeing that 12 car after multiple self-spins tonight. He's back up inside the top 10. Coffey settles in behind the 44. Trying to make that outside work, but he's gonna cut back down, look for the crossover. He has a run, he might look to make it 3, decides not to. Rogers gets a little loose off of 4. And at this point, when do you go? When do you start moving people? Matt Cox already has about a quarter of a straightaway lead over Corey Moore. So when do you start using that bumper? When do you go?
Right about now, unless you get another quick caution. But right now should be about the time you go. And Sean Rogers to the inside now for second place. That's another name that's had to do a lot of work here today. Won stage 1, but ended up getting turned on the ensuing restart and fell all the way back to the back of the field. He actually locks up now into turn 3, and now Alex Coffey looking to make it 2 for the price of 1. Heads down into turn number 1, side by side for second place. He's going to get that move done and now sets his sights on that 32 of Matt Cox, who's got about a second worth of breathing room back to Alex Coffey.
Yeah, and here come the dig guys. Multiple instances from out of nowhere coming back through. Coffey's up there, Moore's up there, Blaine Wilson's up there. Pfluger's coming back as well, but don't count out your race leader, Matt Cox, 1.2 seconds over second place. Who's got the better tires? Who's got the better drive? Brandon Bikey logs up to the inside, goes Victor Pfluger. He's gonna get a bump off the exit of the corner. Oh man, we're really starting to pick up with 44 to go.
Here's another little fun fact for you. Anyone above Brandon Bikey is technically going for their first win of the year. So no matter what, we're pretty much going to have a new winner here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Looking like it's going to be Matt Cox for right now, but Alex Coffey is closing. He just pulled 2/10 that lap to Matt Cox. He ran a 19.451 to Matt Cox's 6.47. So just nigh on 2/10 right there. Alex Coffey is faster than the 32 of Matt Cox.
Yeah, 42 laps is a long time to be out front on old tires, even at Martinsville. We can get through it pretty quick, but Alex Coffey, no stranger to this racetrack, no stranger to short track racing. He grew up short track racing on the short circuits in legend cars, all down in the south in Georgia. He gets a little bump, oh, with a block on Sean Rogers. Rogers gonna try to make it stick. Coffey made a mistake coming up off of turn 4. Gave a little bit of a block to Rogers, who then gave him a bump going into 1. This is going to be the battle to watch, because this could be the battle for the win.
Oh man, Sean Rogers gives the bumper to the 19 of Coffee to the inside for the second spot. Sean Rogers gets on the brakes just a little bit later, but Alex Coffee has that car gripped up on the outside. He's gonna go for the switchback. Rogers blocks the switchback down the back straightaway. Rogers is gonna keep that second spot for now. Coffee gives him the bumper though, and off of turn number 4, gonna be side by side once again, but Rogers gets a good run off the corner.
This is the type of racing that Cox is going to want to see. You can see the gap is starting to build back up out front. Was down to 9/10, but back up to 1.1. But you can just see how much better entry they have. Alex Coffey going to start diamonding 3 and 4. Will he do the same in 1 and 2? Again, that could be the battle for the win, but with 37 to go, can Matt Cox hold on those old tires?
Sean Rogers is definitely quicker than Matt Cox. It's just a matter of how quickly can he catch him. The faster Sean Rogers can catch Matt Cox and pass him, the better, because the longer Matt Cox is able to keep Sean Rogers behind him, the more that's going to wear that 44's tires out. So Sean Rogers has to get around Matt Cox as soon as he possibly can if he wants any chance at winning this race. Further back in the field, Blaine Wilson working on trying to get around the 12 of Nick King to put Blaine Wilson up into the top 5.
Yeah, Alex Coffey's starting to fall off a little bit here. He might have that damage affecting him because Sean Rogers is catching Matt Cox crazy every single lap. I don't know if Coffey's saving something for the end here, but Sean Rogers is like a bullet trying to get back up to that 32 car.
Yeah, he caught him by another 2/10 there. Matt Cox with a 739, Rogers with a 561. So Rogers right on that 2/10 mark as well. We got a caution on the racetrack, and I would be surprised if anyone decided to stay out here. Genuinely shocked.
That's Nick King around on the back straightaway. And that's what Matt Cox did not want to see. But that's maybe what Alex Coffey wanted to see. Is here they come. Everyone's coming down pit road. Oh, Alex Coffey stays out. Wilson stays out as well.
See a replay there of Nick King getting turned down the back straightaway, but Alex Coffey decides to stay out and play
I think he stayed out to fix his force feedback. He just passed the pace car. I think he's going to try to reset his wheel.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Oh, he's going to get going. Oh, he just reset. No. What? What the?
What the shit was that?
What the?
It's his car. Oh my good lord. No words. I have no words. Does he still get a spot back too?
Wait, no way. See, at the top there, our producer questioning life. And now he's coming down pit road. A lot of questions.
I can't.
A lot of questions. Both commentators not sure where to go from here.
God works in so many ways. Not even. Okay, so I think what he was doing was resetting his wheel software, his wheelbase or whatever. And I know that I've had experience when you do that, it kind of like boots iRacing up again. So maybe he does, I don't know. Simrat Market restart.
Yeah.
Here we go. Blaine Wilson.
Blaine Wilson up front for the first time tonight. He's got Brandon Bikey to his outside. A couple new guys here leading the field back to green as they head towards the Simrat Market restart zone. Green flag out in the air here as Blaine Wilson gets a good jump over Brandon Bikey. Bikey slides down in front of the 22 of Jordan Schmeets. And barring any issues, this could be a quick sprint to the finish.
I mean, Bikey just had a race car on top of him. Oh, big checkup in the back of the pack. That's going to be a
And caution.
Oh, my. I still can't get over what just happened.
The last 5 minutes have been a blur. And I feel like it's a good reason to be a blur.
I'm starting to feel like we're the ones that are cursed. Every time we work
I feel like
together,
I'm in a
Nick,
fever dream,
Oh
bro. Like, what is
God.
going on here?
Taking a look at the replay.
Yeah, I'm still questioning what happened the last time. Oh,
There were
Jameson
cars
Middle
all
miss.
over the place. Oh my goodness. And as if we weren't just in the blazing sun, a magical cloud has covered the entire racetrack. What is happening?
Oh my goodness, dude.
It just got pitch black here.
The track tip just dropped by 4 degrees in the span of about 30 seconds.
Oh no.
Martinsville
God
is
heard me
weird.
God heard me
Martinsville is
talking.
weird, dude. What the heck?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Shane Wyatt
so
getting another lap back.
a little bit of questioning reality going on here on Ballin TV. Yeah, I'm not sure what to talk about now. I mean, I've never had a sequence like that happen before. Genuinely have never seen anything like that. That was probably the craziest 5-minute stretch of a broadcast
clip it.
I think any of us have ever had.
Someone clip it. To our producer, Deej, please clip that after the race.
Or someone in chat if you want to clip it.
We're gonna need
catch
that
what just happened.
for future reference. Maybe we can throw that in the championship hype video when we get there. My God, what a season! Oh man, and we think this is crazy. Wait till we go down to Mexico. Oh boy, a new track. I guarantee you, a lot of drivers have practiced it, but oh boy.
No, I can't go that far. Rip.
We'll go through the VOD. We'll record it.
Yeah, that was interesting. But coming to another restart here, you see Shane Wyatt getting off of pit road in front of the field. Been a rough race for that 23, but his teammate and good friend Blaine Wilson leading the field back to green here as we're coming into the final 25 laps of this race. Coming up to the end, the closing stage of stages of this race, as green flag is back out in the air for Blaine Wilson, gets another restart on that inside line where he jumps up in front of Bikey, and he has himself a little bit of clear track to work with, and another caution.
Oh boy.
So Brandon,
I really do not know what to say. I'm still thinking about.
so we had a little bit of a funny request, if I can go find it real quick, from someone. Brandon Fetterplace actually wants us, he said if it gets too crazy in the race and we need something to talk about, he wants us to go over a Bengals rebuild.
Get rid of Joe Burrow. That's all we need to do. All right. Kelly Coffee
Wait a
said
second.
we are in the upside down. I agree. No, Joe Burrow is the equivalent. Oh, that's a big hit for the 28. My
Yikes.
God. Joe Burrow
Yeah, that's
is
the
the equivalent of Cody Rhodes. He's overused and shouldn't have dyed his hair blonde. So. What a...
Oh, man.
Nigel Christensen says this week's Impact Award winner goes to Brian Curry. Good to see that the drivers still have some...
Alex Coffey says he was robbed.
I am...
Yeah, I feel like that one's gonna be a pretty close race.
I'm stressing out. I don't even know what's happening anymore. We'll have less than 20 laps to go when we go back green. Apologies for the last 10 minutes. We don't know what the hell just happened. And now the shade is gone, and we are now back to track.
Are we sure it's not a full moon tonight?
I looked it up. It's in the I almost said croissant phase. Never mind. We're not going to talk about it
That would have just sent this broadcast over the edge.
Oh, we're almost there. We're 6 feet from
I'm just hoping.
All right, lights on the pace car are out. We'll have 19 laps to go when we go back green. Blaine Wilson controls the field. Jordan Schmeets to his outside, followed by Bikey, Sanders, Gallimore, and everybody else behind them. Will the chaos continue? Pace car pulls off. Here we go.
Coming down into turn number 3, 20 laps to go here at Martinsville Speedway. Green flag back out in the air here. Blaine Wilson hops up in front of the 22 of Jordan Schmeets. Matt Cox takes it all the way to the inside of Barry Sanders for, I don't even know. And
we were 4 wide. We were 4 wide. What is happening?
I have no clue, but Blaine Wilson is driving away from Jordan Schmeets. Matt Cox just overshot the ever-loving crap out of turn 3.
Oh,
and
there goes Barry.
Oh, yeah. Caution's out. Oh, and he gets nailed.
All right. I'm going to call it audible here. I think after this replay, we should send it to one more commercial and let everybody regather. Normally here on Ball and TV, we're very professional, but there are so many first-timers here tonight, I don't even know where to start, how to talk, when to breathe. A lot of chaos, a lot of unknowns. The storms taking people out of the race. Alex Coffey pulling a Chris Angel and disappearing and ending up on Brandon Bikey's hood. Brandon Bikey's had a race car on top of him tonight. Lots of self-spins, a lot of mistakes, but we're going to set it to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get it all sorted out with less than 20 to go here at Martinsville.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, we welcome you to Martinsville Speedway once again here, lap 236 out of 250. The OB Builders Cup Series and the Moonshiners Racing League here for the Victory Designs 250 from the paperclip. And we're getting down to the closing stages of this one, and if you're just now joining us, it has definitely been a typical Martinsville race. That is not a dig at the league or the drivers. This is just Martinsville. It's always how it's been, and it's always how it's going to be. Martinsville is always going to be a crapshoot, but we are coming to the end of this race as we're coming up towards 10 to go, and we got another restart here. Blaine Wilson and Jordan Schmeets up front. Brandon Bikey, Paul Gallimore, that's a name we haven't said in a while, up front in 4th. As Blaine Wilson hits his Simrat Market restart zone. Green flag back out in the air here at Martinsville. As Blaine Wilson gets another good jump on the field here, and he is going to go towards trying to pull as much of a gap as he can while Brandon Bikey and Jordan Schmeets are side by side for second.
Yeah, Blaine Wilson, all he's got to do is hold on for 12 more laps now, hoping for no more cautions. Sean Rogers trying to charge back through the field. Can Bikey get back to him? He's already got 1 win on the year at Phoenix. Here comes Sean Rogers. Is he going to make it 2 for 1 on his teammates? Bikey closes the door. Bikey gets a little tight coming up out of 4. Blaine Wilson, 11 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Coming across the line to take a lap, 240. He's got himself a gap now. Sean Rogers, Brandon Bikey side by side for second spot. Jordan Schmeets with a bucket of popcorn, waiting to see what happens between these two. Bikey fighting pretty hard on that outside line for that second spot. He's going to have to give it up to Sean Rogers. Now has to defend from the 22 of Jordan Schmeets. Blaine Wilson got a little bit loose off the exit of 4 that last time by. Lost a little bit of time to Sean Rogers, but heading down towards turn number 3. We got 10 to go here at Martinsville. Looks like we got a pretty good race for the lead building up.
10 laps to go, 9 laps to go now. We've seen Rogers make a few mistakes tonight. So has Wilson, just about everybody else. Chris Davis in the wall on the front stretch. Never mind, we stay green. So we see Moore and Gallimore side by side, but Rogers all over the rear end of the 18, not quite there yet. Will he ship him? Will he not? Can Blaine Wilson hold on as Tim Wortman Jr. just sets the fastest lap of the race? 8 laps to go now. Sean Rogers gonna dive into the inside, and right as he was looking to the inside, we have a caution. Oh, Alex Coffey.
Rough night continues for the number 19. Get a look at the replay here. Did he have a little bit of help here? Oh, no. Oh, Gallimore. Oh, he did have a little bit of help. It was from the 78.
You know, this might really help Blaine Wilson depending on how many laps we do under caution.
And if he gets another good jump on the restart here,
if
too.
He gets another good jump, and Schmeets and Rogers battle on the inside, that could be the saving grace for Blaine Wilson. But does somebody from beyond those boys try to make a move? Better place, Moore, Cox, do they try to send it in there?
Does Brandon Bikey try to do something here as well? Trying to get his first win of the year as well? Because right now, the only people in the top 10 who have wins are Brandon Fetterplace, and that's it.
And the Brandon Bikey
only...
as well at Phoenix.
Oh yeah, Brandon Bikey, that's my fault. I forgot. He passed Shane Davis on the last lap. So Brandon Bikey and Brandon Fetterplace, both Brandons, are the only ones in the top 10 with wins right now. Everyone else still searching for their first one. And a lot of these guys are also guys that don't typically run in contention for wins, at least so far this year. I mean, there's a lot of guys up here. Jordan Schmeets, he's up here trying to win this race. Corey Moore, he's had a good car all night. Matt Cox has had a good car all night. So there's a lot of guys that realistically still have a shot at this.
And I have a feeling we're going to go green with 3 laps to go. The lights on the pace card route this time will make it 4. We'll go green with 3 to go, and that's all Blaine Wilson is hoping for. The more laps that Rogers has, the more of a chance he has as well. But I think he's really pulling for Schmeets to get a good start. I mean, those 3 boys right there are all teammates. Schmeets, Rogers, and Bikey, as Sean Rogers is going to steal a lead lap. But Blaine Wilson, he needs to get an amazing restart.
That is absolute paramount for that number 18. Just a good restart. If I were Blaine Wilson, play a little mental game here, wait a little bit in the box, throw Sean Rogers off his game a little bit.
Nah, he needs to get going as early as possible. He needs that jump.
That's exactly what Sean Rogers is expecting, though.
The later you go in the zone, the less of a chance you have to pull down the straightaway. But we're coming to the Simrat Market restart zone. They're banging doors to the restart zone. Green flag. Rogers
and Sean Rogers already gives him a bumper.
With a lane change before we even got to the start-finish line. He was forcing Blaine down below.
And now he's going to take it to the inside. This may be reviewed, boys. Hold on. This race is not over. They're side by side, but this may not be over.
I mean, if that's not reviewed, I don't know what else you can say. I mean, he was starting to change lanes as they were coming to the start-finish line.
Well, we got 2 to go here, and we're still side by side for the lead through 3 and 4 here. Off of turn number 4, coming to the white flag. We're still side by side. Rogers had the nose there at the end. 1 to go, presented by League Gaming. 27 thousandths of a second at the line. Off of turn number 2, Blaine Wilson has the run. Rogers has the inside in 3 and 4. A little bit of contact between the two. Off of turn number 4, side by side, coming to the line. Sean Rogers by 16 thousandths of a second, but we think that might be reviewed. That restart may have been a restart violation.
We got to go back and take a look at that.
Okay, so as of now, Sean Rogers is your winner, but do not be surprised if an announcement is sent out midweek that something has changed, because we'll watch them burn it down, but we need to watch that back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Sean Rogers was dooring Blaine Wilson, forcing him down maybe about half a lane, and then as they're at the start-finish line, he's crossing the seam to change lanes.
Yeah,
that's gonna be close.
He's
crossing seams right there. I don't know.
Have
I'm
to
pretty
hear
sure
from race control.
I mean, we've even seen it at Phoenix in the Cup Series, right? I mean, you just can't. I don't even think you're allowed to start changing lanes until the start-finish line. You're
not allowed. The rule book states you're not allowed to start changing lanes until after you've crossed the start-finish line. You must stay in your lane until the entirety of your car has crossed the start-finish line. And you see here already starting to move down. We still got over 100 feet. Yeah, that's clear cut. That's gotta be a restart violation.
That's a lane change. That's gotta be.
That's a lane change right there. So we're gonna wait to hear from race control on whether this is an actual win. We're postponing our post-race coverage right now until we hear if this was an actual win.
Let's have our producer shoot a message to race control real fast. We'll give them a few minutes to review it. We're gonna look at this a few more times. And again, obviously, we're not. Here's the big deal. We're not gonna play favoritism. We're not gonna call one thing over another just because of a certain person. But we got to call it how we see it. And that was
a lane change right there.
Whether that's my best friend in the car or whether it's my arch rival in the car, I'm gonna call that's a lane change. And I think, I mean, a few people agree. We're seeing people in chat say it's a violation, and I agree with them, right? I mean,
yeah, that's got to be a clear-cut call right there.
He would not be able to cut to the inside like he did if he wasn't changing lanes. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get confirmation here. We'll go ahead and send it to a quick commercial break, and we'll figure out if any action is going to be taken here. So we'll be right back in just a few moments' time here from Martinsville. Still waiting to figure out if Sean Rogers won this race by 16 thousandths of a second or if Blaine Wilson stole one right at the end. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the post-race coverage of the OB Builders Cup Series for the Victory Designs 250 here tonight at Martinsville. just got done completing 250 laps here tonight. And again, I want to emphasize these results are unofficial as of right now. Sean Rogers with the win here tonight. Again, unofficial. Blaine Wilson finishing P2, Jordan Schmeets P3, Bikey and Fetter Place round out the top 5. And we just got word from Race Control that 44 of Sean Rogers is the race winner. And we'll continue on. Paul Gallimore finishes 6th. Moore finishes 7th. Davis, Matthews, and Pfluger rounds out the top 10. And after that, we got Coffey, Cox, Carr, Shade, and King rounding out the top 15. Sanders, Crosby, Middlemiss, Wyatt, and Spear rounding out the top 20. Again, these are your official results now with the word from Race Control. And Nick Stein will bring you through the rest of the field.
Yes, 21st, Jared Clark, Justin Belmonte in 22nd, Caden Norfrey, Brian Curry, 23rd and 24th. Nigel Christensen comes home in 25th position. 26th going to be Tim Wortman Jr., Randy Mullins, Colt Plaskowski, Kenny Coppola, Preston Purrier round out your top 30. And 31st, 32nd, and 33rd are going to be Kevin Ruff, Ryan Huff, and Warren Young there to round out your 33-car field. And the only reason we waited so long is we were curious if Race Control was actually going to do anything, but the official reasoning is they did not have live race control, so they are unable to make a call like that. They need to have some sort of live race control in order to make a call, as they do not do post-race penalties. So Sean Rogers is your race winner by 16 thousandths of a second, and we'll go ahead and start working on some interviews for our post-race show.
Well, the only person we have in here right now is your second place finisher, Blaine Wilson. So I'll interview him, and then Nick, you can get third and first. But for right now, your second place finisher, Blaine Wilson. With Blaine Wilson right now, Blaine, P2 tonight. Some controversy there at the end. Another one that got away that should have been, in my opinion, something, but nothing comes from it. What's your opinion on it?
I'm actually confused. I don't know what's going on. I had to piss real bad as soon as the race ended, so I left the session and ran to the toilet. And I come back and people are saying they changed lanes. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I suck at Martinsville. The second is crazy for me. I didn't run a single lap all week. The first lap was on cue. And I mean, I've run Martinsville so many times. You just try to survive, and we survived out to second. So I guess if there was a potential call to make, cool. The second controversial second place finish, I guess. I don't know. But it was not fun. Martinsville sucks, but glad to be here. Had a fast setup tonight.
All right, bud. Well, before we let you go, anyone you got to thank that helps you get it done every single week?
Yeah, everybody on Dig Esports, both teams. I know it's kind of a lottery race tonight on where you finish at, but everybody stuck through it. Nobody quit, which is great. You get better finishes that way. And shout out to Precision Speeds Shop. It's hard to say. It's a mouthful. New setup for us. They're blazing every week. So if we keep getting fast cars like this, we're going to have a lot more dig drivers up here talking to you.
All right, Blaine Wilson, appreciate your time very much, brother. Good luck. Hope to hear from you again soon.
Thanks.
That's Blaine Wilson, and now we're going to send it down to Nick Stein, who's got your third place finisher, Jordan Schmeets.
Jordan Schmeets coming home in third position. That 22 looked fast all night. What could you have done any differently to maybe have a chance at the win here?
There was just a couple times I think I got kind of popped back about 5 cars from 3rd to 8th, and then went in and got tires. Kind of recovered from that, playing strategy game, but I just needed to keep my track position, and I lost it there with about 60 to go, so I just needed to do a little bit better. The car was rolling center great. It was getting faster and faster as the run went on. I was feeling pretty good, and just didn't quite get there, but we'll take it. It's the first good finish we've had.
We're going to ask you this mainly because you had the best view of it. Do you think Sean Rogers came down before the start-finish line there?
Man, maybe just slightly, but it was like a tire width down across the line. It's Martinsville. It's a short track, so I don't have a problem with it. We'll see what happens and what the officiating does, but I mean, it's so hard to hold. If you get a good restart on the outside, it's hard to you're going to take a penalty. You're going to basically penalize yourself staying on the high side, because then the car that's starting in third, if he didn't get a good restart, is going to send it right under him, and he's got no chance. So if you beat the car on the bottom in third, it's not like he came down a whole car underneath the line, but I'm sure that we'll leave that speculation to the officiating crew.
Well, you bring it home in third position here tonight. You were up in the top 5 pretty much all night. Is this something more of we can expect from you heading forward as we got a couple more short tracks coming up?
Yeah, I mean, this is the way I'm used to running, so we'll see. It just hasn't been a very good season starting out here, so hopefully we can keep getting some good finishes and good runs going.
Well, congratulations on the P3 tonight, Jordan. Anyone you got to thank who gets it done for you?
Yeah, man, just everybody at BMP. All the teammates, we support each other. Running Ryko set tonight, it was really fast, so appreciate that. And, yep.
Well, congratulations on the P3, Jordan. Hopefully we get to talk to you next week at Darlington.
Thanks, guys.
That's your P3 finisher, Jordan Schmeets, and Nick's going to make the quick jog over to VanLilly Stickers Victory Lane, where he has Sean Rogers with him now.
Sean Rogers, you pulled out a win here tonight. Won stage 1, and then had a little extracurriculars happen there, starting stage number 2. What was that comeback like? Well, what all did you have to do to get back up top?
Yeah, like you said, I won the stage, won stage 1. Then I got real checked up and got loose and went all the way to the back there right at the beginning of stage 2. And then got involved in a wreck. I had 2 minutes of damage, some wheel damage. But with all the cautions, I was able to get everything all fixed. And then, yeah, I mean, the car was still fast. Obviously, I got it back to, to no damage whatsoever. And, yeah, I was able to fight my way back through the field.
And you ended up winning here tonight, just barely over Blaine Wilson. I mean, we knew you had such a good car coming off of turn number 4, but was there any doubt knowing that he had been on your outside for a few laps?
Oh, 100%. My heart, I'm still kind of coming down right now because, I knew we were going to be drag racing. I thought once I got below him, I knew he had older tires, and I had pit probably, I don't know, maybe with 40 to go or so, like that, something like that. So I knew I had the better tires. He hell of a job on his end, hanging tight on the top for 2 or 3 laps. But I was definitely worried when we were coming drag racing to the line that maybe I wasn't going to get the run I needed to beat him to the line.
Well, he ended up pulling out that win. 16 thousandths of a second was the gap at the finish there. Headed to the Lady in Black next week there at Darlington. How are you feeling for that one?
It's one of my better tracks. Typically, I've been struggling a little bit in officials, but we'll get that ironed out. Prior to Wednesday. So feeling good. Definitely feels, going with a little confidence. Going with a win in my pocket, so you can be a little more free with it. And so yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight. Before we let you go, who gets it done for you?
Thanks to all my teammates at BMP. They help, all throughout the week, always helping each other, try to get better. Shout out to my girlfriend, Amanda Price. She may have been in the comments tonight. Haven't looked through the chat. And then shout out to Barry for putting on this league. It's always a good time. And shout out to you guys for putting on a good broadcast. I look forward to, I'll skim through this one. I don't think I'm going to watch it in full like I normally do. It might be maybe not the best race to watch, but shout out to you guys for putting on a great broadcast.
Yeah, I would watch the last 40 laps of that broadcast. Me and Brandon started to lose our minds there at the end, but
I bet.
Congratulations on the win there, Sean. Hopefully we get to talk to you next week there at Darlington.
Yep, I appreciate it, guys.
Sean Rogers, your race winner here from Darlington. And that is going to wrap it up here from Martinsville. You see, next broadcast, Darlington, next week, April 9th, same time, same place from the Lady in Black. We'll be there, will you? That's the question. Just tune in next week as we get ready to get into the into the middle part of this season. Brandon, some final thoughts from you. What do these drivers need to do to, get the summer part of the season going?
Consistency. These next few weeks are going to be hard on these boys. We got Darlington next week and then Bristol the week after that. Then we have the off week and then we start getting into Talladega and the 1.5ers. So we shouldn't see as much chaos as we did tonight, but I know for a fact that we have a lot to look forward to. And who knows, maybe later on this week, we might have a little bit of a discussion of what we saw at the end of the race, and maybe we'll have a new rule going forward, but we won't figure out until next week at Darlington.
Yeah, speaking of, like I said, next week, Darlington, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, April 9th. Be there or be square. But that is going to do it for us here at Martinsville on Ballin TV. Thank you to everybody who gets it done for us here. All the sponsors, Brandon, DJ, everyone who is here, who does this week in and week out and gets these beautiful broadcasts out to you lovely people. Thank you to everyone here from Martinsville, the Victory Designs 250. We'll catch you next week, guys.